is going on? Welcome to another episode of Music Girl Hideout, the show where we hang out with artists, musicians, and entertainers in Wayland Jennings' basement studio. My name is Jury, and as always, I'm gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, who I'll pass it to introduce the guest.
And tonight, on a very special episode of Music Girl Hideout, we have somebody I've been wanting to have on this show since the very beginning, the one, the only, Tyler Thompson.
Hello.
Woo.
Wait.
There you go.
Oh, shit. Okay. I know what that one is now. I'm ready.
Tyler is a producer, engineer, guitar player, artist, and entertainer in Wayland Jennings' old basement studio.
Yeah?
Yeah. And Tyler actually used to rent this very room that we're in and produced out of here for like 6 months or so when you first came to town. And that's how we met. And then yada, 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 time passed, and we turned your old room into a podcast studio, and here we are.
Yeah. Looks really different, but also the same. Big vibes in here.
Big vibes.
Huge.
Vibes.
So you do a lot of different things, and tonight we can talk about all of them or whatever, but I think I'm curious, like, off the bat, like, we used to start every episode this way, and it's like, and then I stopped because it was stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Like, how'd you get into music? Like, what was your start? So I know you're from the cities, right? You're from Minneapolis, St. Paul.
The cities? Is that what they call
The
that?
Twin Cities.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Twin Cities.
Because they got Minneapolis, St. Paul right
Which,
next to
why
each
are
other.
they Twin Cities? Not to immediately derail.
They're really not. I don't know. They're just cities that are next to each other, but they're also like, they could just say it's one city.
Do they like connect?
Yeah. There's some distance for sure, but like...
There's a few places across America like this. There's like Dallas-Fort Worth,
For sure.
Minneapolis,
Oh, right,
St.
yeah.
Paul. Then in Iowa, there's a place where like 4 cities converge, and there's one near like Illinois. Maybe that's the one with Iowa. I don't know. But there's a few of these places, and I feel like all those places will call them the cities.
Yeah.
And but there's the Quad Cities and the Tri-Cities and
Tri-City,
and the
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
never
The
thought
two
about what
sister-
Tri-City means.
I haven't either. I've never heard Quad City either.
You just made that shit up.
That's a lot
No.
of cities.
Quad City. Somebody told me about this recently in Iowa. They're from Iowa, and then I think the Tri-City area is like
I like the SEP
I think that's like
cities.
Jersey, New York,
Octo
and
City.
Oh, yeah. So, what is SEP?
I think
9?
that's 6.
6?
I don't know.
I don't know my numbers, I guess.
it's all these.
It's a weird thing to admit on the internet.
My number, I don't know numbers at all.
Apparently, I've
Quad
no.
Cities.
There's
baby.
Quad Cities.
Where is it?
Okay.
Yeah, what's the Quad Cities? What? I can't
Illinois.
see- Oh,
Davenport, which is Iowa.
yeah.
It's hard to see because you're a little bit off, but Des Moines.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you can't see the screen, so he just
You're doing a
guesses.
great job.
it's all these like East Coast places
That makes sense.
where they had to like use horses to go from place to
Yeah,
place.
so the cities are closer
Yeah,
together.
Yeah, they're closer
Yeah,
together
yeah.
cities. They're like, those will never touch. And then they just kept growing, and now they're like kind of one city. In fact, I was talking to a friend earlier today who lives in Texarkana, which is in Texas and
In
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah.
And they just, this is actually Leah.
Is that why it's called that?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about anything, apparently.
Tell
Yeah.
you what, they have a nice Chipotle there in Texarkana.
Is it better than most Chipotle?
No, I just know that it exists and I've been there. But I like it. It's good.
So they're like from the Texas side. They both identify as Leah and her husband Ryan. They both
Okay.
identify as Texans, but they found a house on the Arkansas side. And it's way cheaper in Arkansas.
So wait, the city itself is split between both states?
Yes.
Oh.
So they moved to Arkansas, but here's the weird, interesting thing. They have weird special rules for Texarkana because it's in both. So if you're in Texarkana, Texas has state income or does not have state income, and Arkansas does. But if you're in Texarkana, they follow the Texas rules.
Damn right.
So like they're getting, they get the
they fought
advantage
hard for that.
Oh
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not paying.
Yeah, the people in Arkansas are like, wait, we can be the only people who not paying.
Yeah, what are we doing?
You're
Here?
like, absolutely, we're doing this. Like,
Yeah.
who's voting against this?
Yeah.
So if you're in Texarkana and you move to the Arkansas side, you pay lesser fees on your home or lesser tax on your house. Your house is cheaper because it's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But then you get Texas benefits of like no income tax. So there's just like a lot of
a win-win.
advantages. Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
the downside is you have to live in Arkansas.
exactly, and
That's
they feel that.
kind of a deal breaker.
they feel that. But anyway, you're from the Twin Cities.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm from like the suburbs of the Twin Cities, Chaska, Minnesota. That's like where I grew up. It's like 30 minutes outside of Minneapolis. But yeah, I kind of I don't really like associate myself with the Twin Cities because I moved to LA when I was like 18. So it's like I didn't do any like. I went to Minneapolis obviously, but like as an adult, I never really like spent time there and like really explored the city. So it doesn't really feel.
Did you go back?
Sometimes,
do you have
like
family
yeah,
there
yeah.
and
My mom
stuff?
still
Yeah.
lives there. My little sister lives there, so I go back sometimes.
Your mom. The way I met Tyler, like I had put out
Oh,
the studio
yeah.
on Facebook, and his mom actually messaged me. And she's like, "I have a son who's moving to Nashville," and
She gets involved. She loves to get involved.
Does she
He's
also
like,
like ask out
"He's looking
girls
for
for
a
you?
She would. I think she would.
He thinks you're so cute.
He's a great guy. He's like just doing great things. Really proud of him.
and was like, "Yes, Miss Thompson." I don't know if she has the same last name as you or not, but
Yeah, she does.
Like, "Yes, Miss Thompson." I'll give him a call. Anyway, but like it was definitely like points in your favor to me that you were from that area, from Minneapolis, because everybody I've ever met from Minneapolis, I really liked. I'm like,
Okay.
these are really friendly people.
Minnesota nice is what they say.
Yeah, Minnesota
Really?
nice.
Never heard that.
Yeah. I don't know. They say that there.
Sure.
Nobody else says it.
Everyone else like Minnesota mean. I don't.
Minnesota nice works really well with San Diego chill.
Yeah.
It's a good. There's a good intersection.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
San Diego, I used to go there every summer because my grandma lives there. So,
Oh, really?
Nice.
yeah.
Whereabouts?
In Poway.
Okay. Okay.
home
That's
of
like a weird
Blink-182.
spot in San Diego.
Yeah, it's out there for sure.
Because it's like I feel like mostly what's in Poway is like businesses.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's a high school there, and it's like
Yeah,
it's just like
Poway High,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah. But she has like horses and Escondido and stuff like that.
Right. It's like
So
the closest to the city you can get and still own horses. I think.
yeah, definitely.
It definitely
That's
is.
exactly
Like,
what it
it's
is.
kind of weird. It's a weird spot. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
So why'd you move to LA?
Well, I went to visit my grandma like every summer, and I just like
Mm-hmm.
kind of fell in love with California and like the ocean, as
Yeah.
you do. And I don't know, I was doing music in high school, like I was in bands and just like recording people's bands, and then I just like I just thought I would try LA. I was like, I'm just gonna go.
So why'd you leave LA?
Well,
It's like way jumping the story, but yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm tipping a lot of steps here. I don't know how
No,
long you were in LA for.
I was there for like I was there for 9 years.
Oh, you're there a long ass time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not
I'm
like you were
old
there
now.
for like a year and we're like, this place sucks.
No,
I'm out.
I'm elderly. I left during COVID. It was like, I don't know. I just wanted I wanted to change, and we do trips here all the time. My fiance Lauren and I do trips here all the time, or we did trips here to like write with people, and you like see their lives, and everyone like owns a house and like have a kid and they have dogs and like a yard, and like that's so not a thing in LA. So
no.
you
Not
just have
unless
like
you have a lot
yeah.
of money.
all the songwriters and producers just have like 1-bedroom apartments that they work out of, and it's kind of like awful. Not awful. It's like it's pros and cons of everything. But we just like really wanted that. Like we wanted a house and like studio and like I don't know. So we did that.
Man. Yeah. You don't hear about a lot of family life in LA.
Yeah. If you do, it's like in Pasadena or like
Right. It's not LA. It's,
Yeah.
it's outside of LA.
Yeah.
LA.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, like what your guys like. So you left during COVID. I remember that because I remember when you got here.
Yeah.
So like, you experienced LA COVID vibes, and from what I understand, like LA was one of the places that was like the most extreme.
Yeah.
But like you and Lauren are not like conservative people who
No,
are like
it's not like we left
like-
because we were like, fuck this, we want to do whatever we want to do. It was just like, it got really just like exhausting being there. I think also paying rent somewhere where you like don't get to experience the place.
Right.
Like you're
it's like
paying
$40,000 a month.
Yeah, you're paying crazy rent to live in this small box that you can't leave. Like you can't go outside. And at the time when we moved, like the fires were really bad, and we were close to Pasadena, so like that's where the big fires were.
Oh yeah, I forgot
So,
the
like-
most recent one a few years ago.
Yeah, during COVID, like the one thing you could do is like go on a hike, and then it was all smoky, so you can't do that. You literally and like the ash was like filling up in our like AC vent and stuff, and it was just like I was getting migraines, and I was just like, why do I live here? Like this is just torture at this point. And I just wanted to change, and like I always like dreamed about living here and doing the thing, like like buying a house, building a studio, the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, were you ever a Death Cab fan?
Not really.
Okay.
Good
He
man. I'm not either.
he had a song about LA that was like the chorus was like, why would anyone want to live here? And it talked about ash and smoke and all those different things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I completely thought that you were just wrong and you meant the John Mayer. I don't want to go to LA anymore.
yeah.
And I was like, are you getting your stories mixed up, Ryan?
No.
Because whenever you talk about LA, you always bring that song up.
No, but
That's the reason you didn't move to LA.
I went to John Mayer when he came here like a few weeks ago at
Yeah.
Bridgestone, and he did that song. And that song. So I was going to move to LA.
Which makes sense. San Diego to LA.
Right. I would say like we probably would have met, but we probably wouldn't have. There's 10 million people.
That's another thing. Living here, every time I go outside, I run into someone I know, like in the music industry. In LA, never run into people, which is pros and cons of both. But
Sure. There's too many people.
There's too many people.
I don't know how many people are in LA now. Like
a lot.
6 million or something ridiculous. I just made that number
No,
up.
6 million I think is probably right. It's probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I looked that shit up. I'm proud. I know what I'm about.
I honestly think it's more.
In like the whole whole
here
LA
we go.
area.
3.89. That's
No,
city.
is that city?
That's just
right?
like condensed probably.
Take a-
metro area.
Yeah.
And then you kind of count Orange County, like a lot of Orange County is LA too.
Sure, yeah. Like when you think like Disneyland, I think LA.
Yeah, which is
9.83. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
county.
the county. Okay, yeah.
That's
County
too
9.8.
many.
And that's not
And
counting
that's not even
Orange
including
County.
Orange
yeah.
County, which is completely a part of that. At least parts of it.
Yeah.
Man, that's so wild. Like 'cause San Diego, I think was like 1.8 metro when I was growing up. Now I'm
Okay.
sure it's bigger. Now
Yeah.
probably like 3 now or something.
Right.
And even that, I was like moving to Nashville. I was like, it's so small.
Yeah.
It's this little tiny baby city.
Yeah.
Now the older I get, the more I'm just like, no, there's too many people here too. Like,
So
I need to go smaller.
You grew up in San Diego though?
Yeah, 30 years.
What part of San Diego?
I grew up in San Diego proper, I guess, like a
Okay.
San Diego address near like City Heights. I don't know if you have any idea where that might be.
I feel like I don't, but is it near like North Park, like that whole?
Between like North Park and San Diego State.
Okay, I know where San Diego State is, and I know where North Park is, so got it.
Yeah. And yeah, I actually grew up in San Diego.
Yeah.
As opposed to some people on this show.
Right.
Who grew up 40 minutes away from San Diego.
In Poway.
Alpine.
No, Alpine.
Is
Yeah.
that the same direction as Poway?
Yeah, it's near Poway.
Poway
cool.
would be like the 1/3 distance to Alpine, probably.
Oh, it's
No,
further.
no. It's
Way
not 1/3.
further.
Not true. Poway is just further north. I mean,
Are you
Alpine's
further
It's
east?
different. It's far in a different
It's
way.
east,
Yeah,
way
it's
east.
east. Yeah, Poway's kind of like
Halfway to
northeast.
Julian.
I don't know where that is.
Okay, not halfway to Julian.
They're sort of triangled. Anyway,
Besides the point.
this
Far
guy's-
away. I just like to give him shit because we both grew up in San Diego, but I grew up in San Diego.
Yeah.
yeah. But you grew up in the
Respect.
ghetto of San Diego,
I
which is
did
like
grow
a
up in the ghetto of
different
San Diego.
That's sick.
It was
though.
awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
pros and cons.
I love San Diego.
Same.
Yeah,
Great
why aren't
place.
we all there? We should all move there together. We should start a mass migration of Nashville music to San
I think
Diego.
at some point I'm going to end up there.
Yeah.
What's a bummer? It's like I talk about this a lot, like Nashville music versus San Diego music. The San Diego music scene is always having trouble.
Practically non-existent.
Well, yeah, that's like California in general. Like I feel like it's just kind of a weird scene.
Yes, it's a weird scene. The music of San Diego, I feel like everybody who's really good gets sucked up to LA.
Right.
So like there's a lot of big artists who got their start in San Diego, but they get sucked up to LA.
Yeah.
And then like our biggest heroes are like Blink-182 and
Right.
POD back in the day and Switchfoot and
Wasn't Underoath from?
no, they're from Florida.
Oh.
But then there's like Augustana was sort of from San Diego.
Okay.
But they moved
Boston.
out.
What
yeah.
about Boston?
Right.
Where
He
was
said he'd
Thrice
think he would
from?
go to Boston. The Rice,
Are they
probably Orange
California
County.
People, they're California though. I'm
I'll
pretty
bet
sure.
they're Orange County.
I don't know.
not bad.
You're right. There was a bunch though.
But there's
they all leave.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Except
Jason
Blink 182.
Well, they went to
Jason
LA.
Mraz.
Well, what's his name from Blink 182 still lives in San Diego.
Tom
right?
DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge.
I couldn't remember which one.
Jason
One of
Mraz, Jack Johnson,
Yeah.
and
That is so San Diego.
them.
Both of those guys are
Jason
so.
Mraz is like the San Diego sound practically.
That is
right?
what the music should be from San Diego.
but and Maroon 5. All three of
No
those
way.
made San Diego their market, but I think they were like outsiders who came in to make it their market,
Got
and
it.
then they expanded from there.
Cool.
But anyway, all that to say, like the normal San Diego scene, because the big dogs get sucked up to LA, San Diego's music scene is just creative and open and not trying that hard to do really anything.
Yeah.
And so it's just like if you go out to a bar, it's just like me and my friend will joke about it. Like you like if you get an acoustic guitar and you just play a bunch of like major 7 chords
Yeah.
and just be like, "Oh, the beach is so warm," and it's like vaguely reggae, vaguely islandy, kind of acoustic singer songwriter.
Yeah.
It's not any one genre. It's just this weird blend. Like that's sort of the San Diego music scene.
Amazing.
But Nashville is so like regimented
Yeah.
in comparison.
It's like a job.
It is. And people here are so like excellent at their instrument, and it's like it's a lot less creative overall.
Yeah.
And I feel like I like that I got the San Diego creativity outlook, but then coming here made me get like better
Yeah.
at all the things I do.
Right. That makes
Would
sense.
you mind beering me one of
Yeah.
those White Claws?
Flavor? Do you have a flavor?
Nah, whatever. There's so many flavors in there. I don't even know where to start. Thank you.
Going for the third claw.
Nice. I gotta catch up. I'm freaking
What do
my
you
claw's
need?
so slow. No,
Oh,
I still
you-
have this whole one
oh.
here. I haven't even barely started that.
Hurry
God damn.
So there's a lot of things that you do and have done, but it's probably time we should play a song. So since we're gonna just play something that you've worked on, and we'll actually, if you're watching, you'll see we'll put the music video up. But what are you gonna play, and what could you tell us about it?
Should we start with a Girlhouse song?
Sure.
Sure.
What Girlhouse song should we do?
Tyler is a part of a band called Girlhouse, which I'm sure we'll talk
I'm sure
about.
we'll talk a bunch about that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I should have picked what song I was going to do before.
That's all right, because
But I
always just,
didn't.
Well,
We'll
here,
just overlay it
we'll go
anyways.
ahead and play it, and then after we come back, we'll talk about what it was.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Sunshine on the left side, it's never ending. Got this image of you in my head at the wedding. If I call you up, will you even answer? Big ass chromoser and the pretender. But you don't think about me. You don't think about me. I think it's better that you don't. I know you don't. You don't think about me. I'm embarrassed to show my face in my hometown. Even though I don't think anyone even lives there now. You told me I made you think of Girl Interrupted. But when I brought it up, you said we never discussed this. But you don't think about me. You don't think about me. I think it's better that you don't. I know you don't think about me. About me, it's probably better that you don't. I know you don't. You don't think about me.
All right, that was You Don't Think About Me, live on Music Girl Hideout.
On repeat.
Whoops.
And we're back.
That was the
Okay.
intro again.
I have a burning question about that song.
Exciting.
I remembered immediately my first thought I had when I listened to it,
Okay.
which was this opening sound.
Yeah.
Were you inspired by Teenage Dirtbag?
No, did they do that in the intro?
it's not the same, but it's similar. You here?
I think
I was
just
like, I'm
the
trying to
vibe of
imagine it
Teenage
now.
Dirtbag is like similar to this song, but I never would have put this together.
Okay, check this out.
I'm ready. Yeah.
And that's all we can play without getting copyright struck. That is our limit.
It's not this. It's not the same sound,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it doesn't even do the same like rise or fall.
Yeah.
But like immediately when I heard it, I was like, Teenage Dirtbag.
Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorite songs like ever. But yeah, no. It's literally like a sample that I found, and I was like, oh, I like
Nice.
that. Over
Okay.
the chords, it just sounded cool.
Question 2: is the vocal chops in the beginning exhale?
What's Exhale?
All right, nope. Striking out.
It's also a sample that I found. Like, it's not like something I chopped up. Both of them are like.
Exhale is a plugin from Output that's like 100% vocal synth stuff.
So it was from Arcade, which is made by Output. So they probably have it on there. Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom.
they just have a lot of stuff like that. Okay,
Yeah.
so like no, but kinda.
Yeah, I've never heard of
no.
Exhale.
I would say both my questions were no, but kinda. That's awesome. Well, what do you want to talk about that song? Like the production of it, and it's like, and for people like, so Girlhouse it's like you and Lauren together. How do you explain it? Because it's very much like if you look at Spotify, it looks like it's Lauren's solo project.
Right.
But I know that behind the scenes you guys work on it together and you guys tour together, but you
Yeah.
also have a band. So how do you guys think about it?
Well, it started as like a project that we started together, but it was kind of like, I don't know. It felt easier to just have her be like the face, and also, I don't know. For a while, it was like her, like she writes all the songs mostly by herself. That song we wrote together with another person, Carrie Kay, who's a Nashville writer who's awesome. But yeah, it's kind of like a band that's not a band. I don't know. I just thought it would be cooler if it was just like Lauren, and also she does most of the writing, and it's like her voice, like not just like literally, but like the words are like kind of her story. So it's more like her thing that I just like get to produce, which is cool. But she works with other producers too, and then I'll usually just kind of like keep it in I'll take like what they did and make it our thing.
Yeah,
which is
sure.
cool.
Yeah, and then do you usually play guitars on the tracks?
Yeah, I mean, I play everything on the tracks mostly. Like that song, I recorded every instrument. Well, no, actually, our drummer Logan did drums on this because now I have a drum kit and have been recording real drums. But before,
Oh yeah, I wondered that too.
before this EP, it was all just like programmed drums. But now I'm mixing programmed drums with real drums, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what makes you stoked about that song?
I think well, first of all, like the E major thing, you know, like those chords are just like embedded in me. I feel like when I pick up a guitar, I go to like the E major, A major, like sus things that have just always been, I don't know, growing up playing guitar, like that's what I just like gravitate towards. And I haven't made a song like that in forever because it was like kind of the pop punk era of music. And I don't know, it just feels like it feels good and it sounds good, like sonically. Everything just fits right for me, and it came together like really fast and naturally, and it just like was fun to make.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the hook's really catchy. You don't think about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I really liked in chorus 3 how after the bridge, like it kind of went to like a slight variation of that.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like I was getting the chorus. I'm like, oh, cool, we're in the chorus.
Yeah.
But then the me came back.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I remember this. I liked that.
Yeah. Lauren
Yeah.
just does stuff like that. Like it just happens so naturally for her. So like that bridge part, it's like a different melody and it's still the same words, but it's like it's a chorus, but like a different chorus, which is
Yeah.
cool.
And then when the original chorus
Yeah,
comes
and it
back,
comes
you're
back and it's
oh,
like
right.
really satisfying and
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you want to talk. Feel free to not talk about this because, like, I feel like with producers, it's always weird to like ask questions about how they did things because because that's also like your sauce too, and like we
No.
love to talk about it, but also you don't want to like. So but one of the things like that's very prominent about Girlhouse production is super double vocal.
Yeah.
and in that one, it's like double, pretty hard left right, and telephone effect.
Yeah.
And
so
then
that was kind of the thing for a long time. The first like 2 EPs, I just thought it sounded cool to do hard left and right. Like there's just 2 vocals, hard left and right, nothing in the middle.
yeah.
And now I've started adding one in the middle, but there always is hard left and right also.
Nice.
But I don't know. It kind of like was a cool sound, and then I don't know. I just thought it felt more full to like add one in the middle too. But,
Right.
But yeah, I always do hard left and right, so it's not kind of. It's like fully left and right.
And how much? And this is one thing because like I've moved towards like I always was a 3 vocal guy.
Mm-hmm.
I always would have a center and then a left and a right that were more like chorus. And then I've moved to always 2 vocals, which I started with Night Tides. It's always 2 and almost never a third, because the 2 only to me gets you more of like towards a retro sound, like a Beatles sound.
Sure.
But it depends how you do it, because there's this right perfect looseness of the wavering of pitch where it sounds like 60s and 70s bands.
Yeah.
But if you make it a little tighter, then it doesn't sound that way as much. And where you guys hit feels more like 90s, like Elliott Smith, etc. land.
Yeah.
So,
I think what I
yeah.
do that's different is I usually just throw auto-tune on it. So it's like they're not waving as much. It's more just like sonically there's just 2 of them.
There's 2, but the pitch is a little more
Like straight on.
right.
Yeah. So it feels like just one thing, but it's like just so far on your left and right ear that it cuts through more most of the time.
And do you ever use like Revoice or any plug or retiming plugins that make the vocals tighter that way?
No, sometimes I'll have to move them a little bit, just like I use like Logic, so I use like the flex pitch thing and just kind of slide them around. But most of the time, especially with Lauren, they're just like on. She just like can do takes forever and they're all the same.
Yeah, and that is a certain kind of vocalist that like is always accurate in that
Yeah.
way, for sure. And even to have a vocalist, like if you're listening and you like don't know, you've heard of autotune, but like you don't actually work with it, you'll realize like I think people think autotune is like a filter that makes everybody look beautiful.
Yeah.
But like if you're suck at singing and we put autotune on you,
be
I can
bad.
still hear that you suck at singing.
Oh yeah.
And so you kind of
like-
have to be
It
pretty
like
close.
overcorrects if you're bad at singing.
It
know
puts you
what
on
I
a different note.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
"Ooh."
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to, but like she can sing really well. She doesn't need auto-tune, but the auto-tune helps
It makes
put it
it
into
like
this
more
place.
robotic-y, which I kind of like. But yeah, it's like if you're recording a good vocalist and you put autotune on, you're done. Like, because it's just like a little bit of correction, because no one is like perfectly perfect, you know?
So, speaking of roboty, okay, so I have more of a statement than a question.
Okay.
But it's going to take me a minute to get there, and there's going to
Exciting.
be a lot of things that sound remarkably unrelated in the meantime.
Okay. Settle down. Do I
just
need
giving
another
you a
White
heads
Claw?
up.
You mind? Yeah, shoot me another White Claw. I might finish this one by the time we get. Seems like we won't get to this statement for a while.
There you go.
Well, it's
Thank you.
dependent on a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
and and it is music related. I promise. It's not going to sound like it is. But
I just want to get more relaxed for this.
Ryan
one.
mentioned to me the other day.
I'm gonna press a button. Hold on.
Okay,
Oh, that's nice.
that's actually perfect for where I'm going.
Cool.
With this. So Ryan told me that you are a gamer.
Yeah.
You play the video games.
I do be playing the
Are you a
online video
PC
games.
gamer?
Yeah.
That's good. I think you might be the first PC gamer
I'm in.
that we've had on the show. Maybe
Yeah.
at least. Every time I bring it up, they're always like, "I have a PlayStation." I'm like, "That's great." And I'm like,
Which
"What do
I
you
also
play?"
have, but
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, you're a PC gamer.
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
gamer. You know, and they're always like, "I play Call of Duty. I play whatever." And
yeah.
that's what console people generally
Sure,
play.
yeah.
But so first, let me ask, what do you play?
Well, I kind of my first like online game was League of Legends. And I did
okay. So you're a horrible human being.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's just the worst.
Scum of the earth. Like
Yeah.
the internet is
Jesus.
just like a horrible place for me. And then I got into Counter-Strike, which like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
worse
Sure,
in a lot of ways.
Hell yeah. I used to play Counter-Strike.
Yeah. CS2.
Have you played?
I haven't tried
I
CS2.
haven't tried it yet either.
I meant CS:GO when I said that.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
CS2 just.
I know.
dropped. Like,
I'm curious, but because I got into Valorant after
okay.
Go kind of died.
Were you ever an Overwatch guy?
I did for a little bit when it first came out. That was
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
But now they have
I'm a-
Overwatch too, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm Overwatch like every day. I'm
Yeah.
an Overwatch guy,
I got to
for
get back into that.
sure.
My main game now is Fortnite. So
Oh.
Yeah.
Still?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like I haven't even.
I
heard
got
about
in
Fortnite in a
late
while.
on Fortnite, but now that there's no building, I just like am so.
There's
good.
not?
Well, they have like a version that's zero build. Is what it's
I
called.
thought that was just like an April Fool's joke. I didn't
No.
know. See, that actually makes me might actually want to
It's
try it.
really
again.
fun, and I
'Cause I
win like
hated that
every game because I'm just better at shooting than all.
Right, you're like, I've been playing shooters my whole life.
And
It's
it's
not
like a-
fucking building simulator.
And it's cross-platform, so it's just like people on controllers, and I'm just like,
You just absolutely dominant. Wait, what does it say? Oh, you're saying. Oh, he's saying it's. It's on Unreal Engine 5 now.
yes, that's like maybe like 2 months ago they did that.
Okay, I might actually have to give it another shot.
Yeah, it's fun.
I've been kind of burnt out on Battle Royale for a
Yeah.
while, but I'll give it a shot again.
What do you usually play?
I'm mostly Overwatch.
Okay.
Recently, I actually stared playing again for the first time in a lot of years. WoW again.
Yeah, I used to
which,
play WoW a little bit.
I was like hardcore back when like 2005.
Yeah.
You know.
Was I mostly play Overwatch the statement?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, we're not.
We're working on it. It's a
there
whole
yet,
thing.
all right?
That's what he said.
We're getting there. Okay, so being a PC gamer, who's been a PC gamer for a long time, I assume.
Yeah.
Right? Have you played Portal?
Yeah,
Obviously, right?
of course.
You've beaten it.
1 and 2.
Yeah, I never beat 2, actually.
the
Yeah, I
hell?
know.
I mean-
it was not anywhere as good as 1, in my opinion. It was
They're
a
like
good
the
game.
same game.
Yeah, but the first one was like, I don't know, it was something special.
It was original for sure.
It was original. It was nothing
The
like
second
it.
one, they're just like, here's more of the same exact thing.
Right.
Go do the puzzles.
So when I was driving over here, this is where I'm getting there, and I was listening to Girlhouse on the way over here. I had a thought, and I've never encouraged an artist to do something before.
Okay.
But I'm going to encourage you to do something now
I'm intrigued.
because her voice and the way that you guys make it sounds like you could make a bomb remix of the outro song of Portal, that Gladys song, the Cake is a Lie song.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's an interesting move.
That again, when we were just listening to that song, like in the intro, the way the vocals sounded, I was like, oh my god, I can see the connection there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying you should do that. That'd be dope.
I will look into that because I'm like making a remix album right now.
Oh, really?
But it's like of our songs, which is just weird, but I'm just doing that.
Sure.
But that'd be cool to like throw in something like a cover remix kind of thing.
Yeah,
That
I
would
just
be
think it'd
super cool.
dope. And if you're not listening, you don't know the song, I would say go listen to it. It's funny and great. But if you don't know the context, it's not as much.
Portal was such a good game.
It's perfect. I when I first played it, because it was made by, I want to say
Valve.
but pre that.
Oh.
So it was made originally by like college students
Oh, right.
that on the Valve engine.
Yeah.
And it was free. Yeah, I like torrent it to get it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I got it. And I remember the first day I got it, I was hanging out with a friend who was younger, Tim Imposta, for those of you guys who know Tim. And unless you know Tim, I don't
know Tim.
And and you know he was younger, and I was like, hey man, we're gonna go play some game. I found this new game. Check it out. I'm like, I found a single player. I was like, well, let's take turns.
Yeah.
I beat the whole thing. He never got a turn. Like he didn't get one turn. It was like an hour. It takes like an hour to beat that thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it ended. Sorry, bud. Like, you want to go
Sorry,
again?
dude.
I still don't think he's ever played it because of me.
But they have multiplayer too, right? Or is that only the second
two.
one?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
It was-
weirdly, I can relate because my roommate made me play it.
The first one?
Yeah.
Cool.
I did not
Which
beat it, but I do think I played it for an hour.
so you're just bad. That's
But I just remember that. Woo!
You're like
the-
speed running.
All I remember is like doing all these puzzles and that like robot guy.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
the
He
whole
was
game.
glad.
He was pretty funny.
That's literally
that's
the
literally the whole
entire
game.
game.
Yeah, it's puzzle,
So I get it.
puzzle.
Yeah.
And then a fight at the end. And that's the end of the whole game. But yeah, I just had that thought, and I was just like, I gotta say it because
Yeah.
you haven't ever thought of it. Gladys remake
All right.
with y'all style would
That would be sick.
So sick.
I wonder if they're coming out with like a new Portal thing anytime soon that we could just be like, hey, we made this. Please help.
I don't know. I mean, Valve hasn't really. I mean, besides CS2 now,
Yeah.
but like they're not releasing games.
Really?
I mean, like what was the last time they released a game?
I don't know. I kind of
You
like
know?
fell off. Like Fortnite has kind of ruined me because like I was deep into like paying attention to what was coming out, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I just got too competitive with like League of Legends and Valorant, especially. Like I got so competitive that it just like became not fun. I would just get so mad.
Yeah, I have heard. So I've actually not even tried Valorant.
Okay.
It's been like on my list to try.
Yeah.
But every time I talk to somebody who's played Valorant, they usually are like, I hate that game.
I mean, it's made by the Counter-Strike developers. It's like
Sure.
it's a shooter, but it's kind of like I think you would like
an
it if you like
ability shooter.
Overwatch. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like it's Counter-Strike but with Overwatch
Right.
abilities.
My problem is it's always the time to kill. Right. So like, in same thing in Counter Strike, it's like the one tap. The
Yeah.
one tap is the dominant.
Right.
I like
The
a little
AK.
more strategy, a little
Yeah.
more, I don't want to pick up an op and I want someone to no scope me
Yeah.
over across the map. I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, it's just like the try hard gamers that are that's all they do. They play
Yeah.
like those shooter games.
Yeah, and I'm too old.
Yeah.
My reflexes aren't as
I
fast
know.
anymore.
I feel like the older I get, the more I'm like, oh, I'm bronze. Cool.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I'm curious. I wonder because I haven't really played a lot of Counter Strike since like junior high,
Yeah.
like original Counter Strike. And I played
Yeah.
a little bit of CS:GO.
Tyler, I'd like to remind you we have buttons.
Oh,
You
yeah.
haven't pressed any.
Well, okay. I'm just waiting for the right moment.
I know it can feel risky.
I know. I just really want it to be have an impact, but I'm just gonna do
know.
one now, just to
Just get
break
it out of
the
your
ice
system.
of
Yes.
the button press.
Free it up.
It's classic. It's a classic.
That is a
That's
classic.
nice. That's
That was
nice.
good.
But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to keep forcing the video game topic that Ryan doesn't play games, so he doesn't know.
Wow.
But
I played Portal.
All right, you played
You played it
Portal.
once?
You played
Yeah.
Do you have a console? What do you do?
No, no, my roommate does.
What do you
But-
do when you're not working on music?
Hang out with my girlfriend.
And what do you guys do?
We hang out.
Oh,
I'm not allowed to talk about that on the show. I mean, I'll tell you what I did last night. I hung her shelves.
Hung her? What the?
There, see, now you got an
boom.
impact.
Okay, that was
You got to
good.
just jump into the buttons.
That was clean.
No, yeah, last night I hung her I don't even know what to call them because they're shelves, but they have like hangers for her to put clothes on because she doesn't have a very big closet.
Sure.
So I hung those in her new house and painted the trim.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I do
That's a
because
huge
I don't play
boyfriend
video
move.
games, right?
Yeah.
I'm going pretty hard.
You
I'm
need to say no to those things early because otherwise you're just expected
It's your
forever
job.
now to do that shit.
Oh, dude, I'm 35 and might die alone if I don't paint some trim. You know what I mean? I gotta paint some trim.
Yeah, you can paint trim. You do that anyways. You're so handy. You do everything.
You got to be handy, man.
I'm the least handy person in the world.
really.
Yeah.
I'm just
Man.
very lazy handy.
Yeah.
I probably could.
I'm
but,
I
I'm not gonna.
really want to, and then I start and I'm like, not for me. Can't do it.
No, I'm very, very bad at regular life things.
Yeah.
Like running an errand.
Same.
If I have to go to the bank, which I don't know why I ever would now,
Yeah.
but maybe a money order or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
somebody gives you cash.
I will put it off for months. It will take me a year before
Yeah.
I go to the bank. I know it's gonna take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a full year.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Not today. I'm too busy.
Yeah, I got stuff to do. I got games to play. I got alcohol to drink.
Yeah,
We got
there's a lot
full
going on.
schedule.
So Girlhouse is one of the big things that you're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you and Lauren were in another band before called Wild.
Yeah, still in it.
Okay,
Still going.
So tell me about where did Wild come from? I imagine that was because I know there's another guy who's a part of it.
Yeah.
I think I remember you guys all met in L.A. So is that how you met Lauren in the first place? How did this all come about?
That's not how I met her, but that's how we started working in music together. Because Zach and I, the other guy in Wild, we met right when I moved to LA, and we just started working together on a bunch of stuff. We had a band before that called Holiday Weekend, and it was just
Fun
kind of
name.
we were just making stuff together because we both were new to LA and just kind of excited to work with anyone. And he was a really good singer songwriter, and I was trying to produce, and yeah, it just kind of we started Wild. There was a different singer before Lauren, and it just didn't work out with them. And then we kind of had auditions where we had, but the audition was hey, come record a song and we'll pick whichever one sounds good on the recording. And Lauren came and tracked the song in one take after we showed it to her. And we were literally okay, cancel all the auditions. We're done. And yeah, that was kind of, we just started writing and working together and playing shows, and that kind of just happened.
Very nice. And did you guys ever tour?
Yeah. We opened for a couple bands. We opened for Ingrid Michaelson one time.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did a headline tour that was 7 shows or something. We played Soda Bar in San Diego.
Oh, nice. I just
Yeah.
played there for the first time.
Yeah,
It was fun.
cool spot. But yeah, we did some touring, and it was a band, but it started kind of as a sync thing because Zach knew about sync, and I was what is that? And he was we're gonna make a lot of money, and I was okay, sounds good. And that's kind of how it started with the idea of sync, which is just for people who don't know what that is, it's just synchronizing your music in film and TV. And that's kind of how I got into the industry, was through publishing companies that do sync stuff. So
Nice. And I know you. I feel like I've seen on your Instagram different like placements and stuff. So like,
Yeah.
how has that been for you? Like, did you get your wild songs into like movies or commercials or TV or like what happened with that?
Yeah, that's how I make a living, because like being an artist is kind of rough. You don't make a lot from like streaming, as everybody knows, and I mean, yeah, you can make money from like merch sales, I guess, but you have to be kind of up there.
You
So
gotta have a bunch of people who want to spend
Yeah, and it's-
$30 on a shirt.
it's crazy because people will just like corporations will just be like, here's $500,000 for your song that you already made, and I'm like, cool. And it's like that's how I was able to do everything. Like that's how we started Girlhouse, was just like we wanted to make music that wasn't driven towards that because we had the budget to do it
Yeah.
from the other things. So it's like this is our like free project to do whatever we want with the money, and that we can like use the money that we're making from other stuff to like make music videos or like whatever it is.
Nice. So the other stuff. So is Wild more aimed towards trying to get sync placements and stuff?
Yeah, totally. So like when we do sessions, it's usually like we'll write to like a brief, or we'll just like we just know what. Is
Yeah.
gonna
So what is it when you're doing that? Like I've never tried to do anything like
Yeah.
that before. Like what's the process there? Or like what do you have to think about that's different than what you have to think about when you're
I
just making
think
music?
it's kind of like being extra vague in the lyrics. It's mostly lyrical. Like any kind of production can work. It's just lyrical is really important. Like they want stuff like come together, or like this is like our biggest sync song, which is in like this. It's still in a Mazda campaign for like the last 5 years. Is "This Is Our Time," and the hook is literally "This is our time," and like.
So if I go turn like a Mazda commercial, there's a chance.
Yeah, you've probably heard it on TV or like on YouTube ads.
That's wild.
It's out there. Mazda is awesome though. They even like we worked with them a lot because I made different versions for them after we used it. Like I made like a Christmas version and like a cinematic version for a different ad, and they gave us a discount on like Lauren bought a new Mazda, so like they gave us a
That's
discount.
cool.
They're just really nice people and nice to work with. So
Man, that's awesome.
That's
yeah,
nice.
but we just get syncs in like TV shows and movies all the time. But
Any notable TV shows and movies?
I mean, like tons in like American Idol, Love Is Blind, like any kind of like MTV Teen Mom. I've had songs in like
All like the reality like genre. Like,
yeah,
kinda fills that
we've
up.
had songs in Ted Lasso.
Oh really? I'm watching that right now.
Yeah, season 2, the trailer for season 2 actually we had a song in, which is cool.
Okay, I'll listen for that. I'll go check that out tonight because that's what I'm doing when I get home, watching Ted
Yeah.
Lasso. So.
The new season.
I'm on. I think I have one episode left in season 2.
Okay, yeah.
I started like a week ago.
Okay,
like 2 weeks ago.
rewatch this trailer.
I will.
That's me.
Okay,
and,
that's awesome.
and is it Wild or is it a
That's a
different
Wild
project?
song, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Lauren and I have like other projects too that aren't like on DSPs, like not on Spotify or anything, but they're like we just pitch them for syncs and stuff. There's one called Bunny Valentino, where Lauren's kind of like rapping almost.
Oh, interesting.
It's like rap singing, but I don't know. That stuff gets on like the Love Is Blinds or like the Selling
like
Sunsets.
Jason Mraz rap style, where
No.
it's like not quite rap, but
It's
not-
more like
I saw fireworks of them.
like this is my vibe. You know, like those kind of songs. But yeah, that's the sync world is different because it's just kind of like you just churn out songs that aren't real songs a lot of the time. But like,
So you find it like hard to get like excited about one of them, you know?
yeah, it depends. It's like with Wild, we used to like I wasn't even trying because I was just starting and I wasn't trying to do that because I didn't even know what that was. But it just kind of like worked out that way, and all the songs we made just like we were just being like it was nice to just like write positive music that has like a positive message that's vague that like anyone can understand, and like a lot of people resonate with it. Like we have since we stopped like actively being a band and like touring, we've got more like listeners than ever. Like we have over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Oh, wow.
We've had that for like almost a year now, so it's just like people are listening, but I don't know who they are and where they are. But
You don't have like a community. I don't know what people do anymore. Facebook page is not the thing anymore.
yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
we have all the stuff. We have a Discord page and everything.
a Discord, I
Yeah.
guess. As well. Oh yeah, I guess you would be a person who would do Discord.
Yeah.
Normally I bring up Discord and people are like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, someone like a fan made like a Discord server
that's-
for us, so like I go in there sometimes. But they're really nice people. Everyone's just like really supportive. Like everyone is positive because the music is positive, you know, which is cool.
Yeah. I guess that's something I've never really thought about. Like, you put out positive music to get positive people.
Yeah, you really do.
Huh. Which makes you wonder, like, there's a lot of bands out there with mostly negative music. In fact, I would say most music is on the negative.
Yeah,
you
true.
know?
Yeah, you're complaining about something.
Right, yeah, exactly. It makes me think, like, I wonder how many groups have shitty fans.
A lot.
A lot, right?
Yeah, every comment on YouTube is usually like mean.
Right.
The only mean
Is your
comments
comment
we get.
section nice?
They are.
That's
It's
crazy. That's
incredible.
impossible.
And we
Like-
have like a big presence on YouTube where like a bunch of people comment, but the only mean comments we get are like, I've heard the song so many fucking times on TV on the Mazda commercial. I'm so fucking sick of it. Please, Mazda, turn it off. That's the only thing. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, but then they went and looked it up on YouTube.
Right.
Like,
just to comment that they're
you
mad
love
about
it.
hearing it.
Can't get out of my head. Man, that's great though. That's such a cool like world
Yeah.
that like I don't know. I mean like I've heard a tiny bit about that before, but not.
Yeah, I never
Not
thought
much
I
at
would
all.
end up in that world, but that's just kind of like how my industry like life kind of went.
Huh.
Because the publishing company that I'm signed to is like, they're called Secret Road, but they're very sync heavy. Like that's what their focus is. They don't really get like artist cuts that much. Like a lot of publishing companies like will pitch songs to like big artists like Katy Perry or whatever, and they don't do that as much. Like they try to, but it's mostly just like they're getting syncs like every day. Like they're controlling a lot of the music that's in ads and shows and stuff, which is cool.
I'm gonna take a risk. Yes, thank you, Secret Road.
Yeah.
Thank you, Secret Road
Thank you, Secret
Publishing.
Road.
Getting syncs every day.
Let's go.
A tremendous
long
tremendous
does this
company.
go?
It's gonna go for
Hopefully
a while.
all
I'm
day.
thinking, yeah.
Cool.
This is. I started thinking it was an infinite loop.
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
started thinking it would be
I was like, we
forever.
need to turn that off.
And I was like, I'm fine with that. Now, speaking. Oh, do we have a third?
What is that?
Oh, he
No,
so
third
there's
page.
multiple pages of
Yeah.
buttons, and he's swapping the page to
New
fresh, so we have
page.
fresh sounds.
So wait, there is more than one though?
Yeah, two. We have two pages
two
of sound.
pages
So
of
I
Are you on the
switched.
same one as before?
I've swapped two
Nose
different
is
ones.
fresh.
Oh shit! So I can hit the same
You
one.
got to take risks. You got to take risks
All
in
right.
this life, you know. So speaking of your publisher, I'm supposed to make you an instrumental mix of our song
Yes,
because
they're mad at me right now. No, they haven't said anything yet. But every time like a song is released that I didn't submit to them, they're like, "What is going on?" Because they own part of it if I wrote it.
interesting.
That's
So
crazy.
we started a song together many years ago. I don't
It
even know.
was probably a year ago,
It
though,
was.
right?
I feel like it was like a year and a half.
Oh, definitely, actually, because I was in my old studio,
Yeah, you were at.
tiny tape room.
Yes. So we started a song together, and I'm trying to I'm like, what are the pertinent details of that? I just came to your room. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, we
it's-
had just had like a session where like, let's write a song.
Yeah,
Let's do a
maybe
song.
it's interesting for people who don't write. I don't even know who listens to our show if they like are musical or not.
probably writers
Yeah, yeah. Probably only musicians anyway. But like we get to, so like for a riot, we get together at your room and like we so you had been here. You were here for 6 months and we saw each other like on a pretty daily basis and
Yeah.
it was like, hey Tyler, hey Ron.
Yeah.
Like it was like that. Did you ever see that old cartoon with there's like the wolf and the sheep? And like the wolf is chasing the sheep all day, but then at the end of the day they like clock out. And they clock out like, hey Merv, hey Bart, how you doing?
Which one's
have,
which
have a
in
good
this
night.
scenario?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Titty sprinkles.
I felt right in that moment.
We added
It
it
came
back.
out wrong though.
Titty Sprinkles makes a comeback.
Damn.
And so, but it's like that. It was like I'd come in and you'd be in. I'd see you when you came and left or whatever. And from time to time, we'd borrow something from each other and say what's up.
Yeah.
But like I think for like the 6 months you were here, like from time to time, we're like, oh, we should write sometime. We should write sometime. But
Yeah.
when you were 5 feet away from me, we never did.
Well, it's because like we both were coming in to obviously work on something already. Otherwise,
Right.
we wouldn't be here. So then it's just like, yeah, we should write when we're not working. But the only reason we're here is to work on other stuff. So
Yep. And
But-
I was working on the second Night Tide song when you came in, and you were working on, I don't know what Girlhouse song, but one of the earlier
yeah,
ones, and I don't know. So anyway, so we're kind of working on our own little projects. But then after you left, we finally got together to write. So I came over to your new studio at Tiny Tape Room and got on the keyboard, and and you got on the guitar, and we sort of like went for this like 90s energy and pulled up a few references.
yeah. We
and
had some weird chords going on.
Yeah.
which was cool.
we tried to write off of like a voice memo I had of something I started writing, but what came out was completely different. And it has no relation to that voice memo at all.
Yep.
So that song still fair game. And we made a little song, and I brought it. I came back after that, and I showed some of the guys in the band because I think we had band practice that night. And Zach was like, "This is so cool. We have to work on this." And then like it just sat, and it was one of those. Whenever I write something I want to work on, it in my head it enters the queue as like this will be the next song.
Yeah.
But it's super. Who knows when that will actually happen?
Right.
And then like simultaneously, I had been in this. Which we'll probably have him on at some point, and then we'll talk about this. But like, I had been in an Instagram relationship with the guitar player from Matchbox 20,
Right.
and so he relationships. Is
Yeah, it sounds like weird phrasing, Ryan.
I love saying things in a fucked up, funny way. But anyway, no, just like we had messaged each other on Instagram. I don't even know if we had messaged at this point. Just like he followed me and like would periodically comment.
Yeah.
And long story short, he ended up sometime after this song being like, "Hey, we should get together and actually meet in real life, like write a song," which is the most Nashville shit ever. I love explaining that to people from back home. Like, yeah, somebody was like, "We should meet each other by writing a song," and I'm like, that's how
Yeah.
Nashville does.
I wish I feel like I don't get that as much. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Hey, do you want to go out to coffee and like just talk about music for a while?" And I'm like, "Sure," but and then at the end of the coffee, it's just like, "Do you want to produce my song, by the way?" And I'm like, "You could have just like asked me that, and today could have been that." But
You need
yeah,
to butter me up. Take me out somewhere nice.
yeah, that's literally what it feels like. I'm just like, this is what I do every day. Like, if you want to work with me, just say
Like, it's
that.
actually easier if you just ask.
Yeah, we
Like,
can make coffee at my house.
takes
and just-
way less time.
Yeah, we'll be done today. We don't have to do all this.
So we got together to write, and because that was the next song on my docket, I was like, man, I would love to write that song with him.
That's cool.
Because you and I had come up with like the chords and some of the melodies, or I mean, we had a melody for verse and chorus,
Yeah.
but we didn't have any words at all. And so I was like, I need to write words.
There was
Maybe
like
with this guy.
there was a line that we just kept repeating, like we copied and pasted it.
Yeah. She
So then-
goes to work on Monday.
That's what it
and
was.
She always comes in late.
Yeah. Monday last or something like that. Something weird.
Monday last. Oh yeah, it goes to work on Monday last. Yeah, it was
I
very like
I listened
British.
to it back because I was like, how much did you even use from the song we wrote?
Well, it's the chords in the verse start the same, but they change. And the chords in the chorus mostly stay the same with a little bit of alteration. Here's what happened. So Kyle's the guy from Matchbox. So he comes in and I'm like, okay, I want to try to write the song with him. And so I just played it for him on piano.
Wait, are you telling me you tried to write the same song after already writing it?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
like advancing it. Yeah.
Wow.
But
yeah.
even before that, you wrote a song that was.
Yeah, I started writing a song and then I'm like, Tyler, let's write this song. And then it completely changed.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, Kyle, let's write this song. And we started with that. So here's what
I
happened.
get that that's kind of how it works, and it's iterative, but I was just trying to throw you under the bus.
I hear that. So I'm playing him the song, and afterwards he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "Man, I don't know if I'm really feeling it." Like,
Dang.
and he's like, that's it's cool and everything, but I don't know if I'm super feeling it, and I don't know if it'd be a bummer for us to like work on something if I'm not feeling it. Maybe
Yeah.
we do something else, but that's normal at the beginning
Yeah.
of a songwrite to be like, here's an idea I had. Do you want to
Yeah.
work on this? And maybe show somebody a few ideas,
Right.
and then work on what everybody vibes with. And so that was like, I really wanted to write that one, but
You're like,
first
no.
thing he's like, I don't know, and then he goes, well, I don't know, maybe I could get into it. So he takes my guitar and he starts playing some chords. He switches up some of the chords,
Mm-hmm.
changes it a little bit, starts singing kind of his own melodies over it that are like what he remembers what I sang,
Yeah.
but slightly changed. Then I just jumped on the drums and we jammed, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm drumming with the Matchbox
That's
guy
sick.
right now.
Yeah.
And like I was like 10 when Matchbox 20 came out,
Right.
and like I did like a parody of one of their songs in school for a book report,
Yeah.
so I'm like, holy shit, like I'm like drumming with a guy I saw on MTV when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then he got like when what he did is he added a flat 6,
Mm-hmm.
and when he started doing that, he started like getting into it. And then he's like, oh, if we do more like this. And then after that jam, he's like, okay, I could get it into this.
Yeah.
Like and I think that's normal that like when
You want to be attached. You want to like put a part of you into a song.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And I've had artists that bring me a song that like initially I don't like at all, and I have to go to the piano and start playing with it. And then when I kind of like modify their chords a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, if it was like this, I could feel
Yeah,
that.
you clock in and you're like, oh,
Yes.
I'm making the song. I'm the captain now.
And so he got into it. We ended up writing for 8 hours straight
Dang.
and wrote the whole song that day, like lyrics wise.
Yeah.
But the verse chords are the same as what we started. The chorus chords are the same, and the melodies they're like evolved from where we
Yeah.
started. They're like
Yeah,
similar
you can
but
kind of
different.
hear it, but it's like different.
Right.
Yeah.
The verse is like extra different, but the chord, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It is like a cousin song.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to go into the whole story of writing the song, but that was the song. But yeah, so anyway, so we wrote a song together, and it just dropped, and I have to give your publisher the music, and I guess that's the whole story.
You promised you would do it today.
Yeah, we'll do it after the show.
Don't be mad at me.
They're listening right now.
I know.
They listen to every
I
episode.
know.
They're huge fans.
They know everything I'm doing. They literally email me about songs I don't remember making, and they're like, "Where you didn't submit this?" And I'm like, "I have no idea
You're like,
what that
what
is."
are you talking about?
Like songs from like 10 years ago, and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I did do that. It was just like so long ago."
That's crazy. So is that like part of the contract or whatever? Is if you write something, they get a chunk?
Yeah,
But then the benefits are clearly it's a
yeah.
lot.
You just,
yeah.
like I'm just on salary, so
Right,
You just
that's
get
awesome.
paid for if I don't write anything. I also get paid.
So do they ask you like, hey, we need you to write this for this reason, or is it just
There
more
are-
like you just submit?
There are like what they call briefs, which is like a specific like company is looking for. Like it'll be like, I don't know. I can't think of a single brand right
Mazda's looking for the Christmas version, so then you go, "It's my time," but you add sleigh bells.
now. Like Colgate is looking for like an upbeat, like happy song about like smiles and like being happy.
Huh.
And they want it to be like around this tempo, and then they usually have like a reference track that like something that sounds like this song because they can't get the rights to that song.
Right.
So that's
It'd be, like,
usually
way too expensive.
Yeah.
So they make their own.
But a lot of the times it's like, also we need it in 30 minutes. And it has to be fully produced, mixed, and mastered. Thank you. So
man.
most of the time the briefs don't do anything, but it like starts an idea, creates a song that maybe will be in something else.
Right, because I assume I don't know how this works, but I assume if like Mazda or Colgate or whatever sending that out, they're sending it to
It's everybody.
everybody,
Yeah.
and they're picking the best.
Yeah.
So you're kind of it's like way more competitive in
Yeah.
those cases, I would assume, as opposed to just like giving a bunch of stuff to them and be like, figure out where this goes.
Yeah, it's funny for the Mazda thing actually. Like I talked to the people who like picked the song, and they said they were in like Africa or something, like doing a trip for scouting locations or something for the ad, and they were like listening to a playlist of songs that were like options for them.
Yeah.
And they were like coming over a cliffside at sunset, and they were like listening to our song that they picked, and they're like, "This is the one." They all like looked at each other. It's like that's how you pick a song. Like it's so weird.
Man,
So
that's wild.
I've only done this once. I had a brief come through from a group that I worked with, and it was like Pepsi Canada is looking for one of these 6 songs, but a cover.
Yeah.
And Good Vibrations was one of them. And because we have like a Beach Boys band, I was like, ooh, I should do that. And it was $100,000. And I was like, I would do that for $100,000, but we need it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I did
Worth it for $100,000.
a Good Vibrations cover in one day. It was like a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
And
But wait, wasn't there more to that? Weren't they like using a Night Tide song as like the example or something?
that's a different
Okay.
story. That's a
I've had
different
that
story
happen a
than the same
lot
group.
though. Where
Really?
They send me my songs and they're like, "We want something like this," and I'm like, "What about this?"
Yeah, like just use it.
That happened. That's how I met this. They're a publisher that we work with. Hasn't turned into anything yet. Anyway, but the way I found them was there was a brief sent out that I'm a part of an email list, and it was
Yeah.
like, we would like a song like the band Camino, this, that, the other thing, or Night Tide's Your Window. And I was like, I emailed
know the
them.
guy who did that song.
I was like, you could use Your Window for whatever amount of money you want it to be.
$10, I'm in.
And they didn't.
I know that happens all the time.
Why?
I just recently did a theme song for a TV show where they wanted
Are you
one
allowed
of
to say
our
which show?
songs. Yeah, it's out now. So it's right now it's like, you know, the people who made like Virgin River.
Sure.
It's on Netflix, but like the author that wrote Virgin River, which is now like a series on Netflix and a couple other series, has a new show that's only in Canada right now on CCTV.
Oh.
But I think it's gonna get picked up by Netflix. But they wanted a theme song, and their main reference was a wild song called "All My Life," and I was like, you can use that song.
Like you don't need like a weird ripoff of this song. Like you have the one you want.
And the most annoying part is we ended up making a extreme ripoff to the point where
You made an extreme ripoff of your own song.
To the point where like they kept saying they wanted the guitar to sound like that song, like there's like an intro like Plucky, like doom ding doom ding, and they kept saying like I really want that like Plucky vibe, and I literally took the audio and pitched it and changed the tempo and used that from the other song, which I'm probably not allowed to say. Yikes.
Enter the publishing zone.
There might be some
play
master
the whole
conflict there, but
I want this new Virgin River spinoff to be called Chastity Lake.
it's called Sullivan's Crossing.
So close.
It's really close.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's starring the guy that played Luke in Gilmore Girls. Did you ever watch Gilmore Girls?
I didn't. It's on my list though. Have you watched Gilmore Girls?
Oh yeah,
Because I've heard that
it's good. It's a great
phenomenal.
show. Yeah, it's amazing.
And
It's the
I've,
one with Rory, right?
yeah, I've
and
heard like
Lorelai.
a huge chunk of their audience is like 30 to 40-year-old guys.
Yeah, it's
Which is
great,
so
it's
weird.
So good.
For like the type of show.
Yeah, yeah. I will say I didn't watch it until my fiance made me watch it.
Sure.
But after like literally 2 episodes, you're in.
Really?
Like it's fast. Even
Really?
the first episode.
I can't even imagine it sucking me in that way.
It's really good, and it just gets better as it goes on.
I am looking for a new show right now.
It's a good like. It'll take you a long time to finish. Like
How many seasons is it?
Like 9 or 10, and then they did like a reboot.
I'll get through it in like 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 2 months is a long time to watch a show. That's a long time for me because I do the same thing. I'm just like,
I binge a show.
yeah. I just
hard.
finished The Sopranos like recently.
First time?
First time.
Oh,
Like probably like 3 months ago now.
one of the best shows ever made.
Incredible.
Like top 3,
yeah.
top 2.
Top 2.
It's like that or Breaking Bad is
I
the
was
best
gonna
show
say
ever
Breaking
made.
Bad too.
He's watching
I'm-
Breaking Bad right now
for the first time.
For the first time.
So you don't know how it ends? Or
No.
It hasn't been spoiled or anything?
No.
That's impressive.
The Sopranos, it wasn't spoiled for me, which is cool.
It's hard to spoil the ending of The Sopranos.
That's true because you don't even really
because it
know.
just kind of ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Did you just spoil it for me?
No, I mean it doesn't even give anything away.
Yeah, like you. It's kind of like open ended, I guess.
Yeah,
in a sense, but it's
yeah.
also not.
They're just like sitting at a diner.
Well, don't tell them.
What you're
Sure.
spoiling it right
No,
now.
It's like a
just
30-year-old
I mean,
show.
my point has nothing to do with it. Like it's not like a plot. There's nothing
Yeah.
plot that gives nothing in the plot that gives away. The plot.
I still
Never.
haven't finished the X-Files, actually.
Oh, really?
Are you watching it?
I did up until they
I-
came out with the new season. Like they came out like a 2011 season or something.
I only got to like
I didn't watch
season
that.
whatever the second movie is when I stopped watching.
Yeah, they just kept making it.
I know.
And it was really good. to be
It's
fair.
so good. I was watching it on like the Reddit list of like the
Shows to
episode, like
watch.
the main episodes to watch. With
the where you can skip the non-story ones.
like
Yeah.
sometimes if I was really like I had nothing to do, I'd watch some of those. But they get pretty. They're kind of bad. Like
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Ryan to get him to watch Supernatural.
I've never seen that show.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's not phenomenal until you are in.
Yeah,
You know.
I think you would love Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
I get
It's
the
on my
vibe you
list.
would like
I might have to give it a shot.
Okay.
Because I am looking for something. I'm specifically looking for something that's got a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
Because I chew through shows so fast.
Yeah.
And I always
And
pick up a
there's-
new show and I'm done in like 3 days and I'm like, great. Now I
Yeah.
got to find another one.
There's like the new Netflix reboot that came out like a couple years ago.
Is it good though?
Yeah.
Not-
It's
not
more
as
content
good.
to watch.
Because they just came out with the Supernatural spin-off. I watched the first episode
Not good.
and it was not great. But then I was like, you know what? I just need to wait till the whole season's out and just binge it. That's
Yeah.
how you gotta watch this.
I still haven't watched the Game of Thrones spinoff.
I watched the first episode and I was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah. That's a no for me.
Same thing with the Lord of the Rings show. that
I
came
watched
out,
the
Ring of
the
Power.
first couple episodes of that, but it's pretty boring.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, the Lord of the Rings books are pretty boring.
Yeah, they did
All of
they
them.
did it justice.
I gotta say, for all you little people who love Lord of the Rings books out there, you're a psycho and not a narcissist, sadist.
Yeah,
You liked the pain.
a masochist.
I love reading fantasy. I used to read all the fantasy novels in all time. It was what I did. I never finished Lord of the Rings. I tried so many times.
Yeah, I've read The Hobbit, but
Yeah, The Hobbit's great.
Yeah, I'm not
I-
gonna read
yeah.
all of those.
There's a lot of songs.
That's what everyone says. The songs take like 10 pages, and you're like, why am I even doing
And
this?
they describe rolling hills for like 9 chapters. I'm like, I don't care. It's a hill.
I've seen it. I know what it looks like.
I know what a hill looks like.
Thank you.
No,
It's time for a
the
new
movies
button.
are phenomenal.
Hello, imbecile.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
wow.
okay.
It's kind
Yeah.
of aggressive.
Okay.
That that seems like something like more of a shock jock radio show would have than us.
I think I can hear it though. Like I know when to use that one.
Good.
You like
Save
know
it.
the moments.
I'm just trying to like
It's all up
track
here.
which one's which.
Iron Trap.
Oh man, but no, but I'm looking for something new to watch. It's hard to find something good. I'm a little picky.
Yeah.
And,
What are you watching right now?
I just started the show that just came out called Beef on Netflix. You ever watch that?
That was
Never
just
heard of her.
advertised to me. I
Yeah,
haven't looked into it.
I saw like a TikTok of like one of the first scenes from the show, and I was like, whoa,
I don't even know that. I don't know anything about it.
It's pretty good.
Check it out.
it's about just like being mad at people.
Now, speaking of TikTok, I saw the other day a Girlhouse TikTok where Lauren like goes up to the camera and you're playing the new song. Excuse me, and she goes like, "This is me." She has the writing over it that was like,
Yeah.
"This is me doing a thirst trap to
Yeah.
hope my song blows up."
Yeah.
and it inspired me. Like, I should try one of those because I can't. I see every artist I follow doing that.
Yeah.
but I just can't bring myself to do it in a serious way.
That's I
'Cause it's
feel
not
like
me.
that's the whole Girlhouse thing. Like nothing we do is too like serious. We're kind of just like we know what we're doing. Like it's not like we're not taking ourselves too seriously.
Yeah. So I made one.
Yeah.
And it was very like I
Was it a thirst trap?
I literally wrote I just like went and looked at the camera and just kind of like stared at it.
Yeah.
And I wrote like something like Falling Backwards is a song about denial, kind of like how I'm in denial about the fact that anybody would ever want this. But it seems like algorithms want this, which tells me maybe it's just the machines, maybe just the AI wants, like, why does it want this? Why
Maybe
does
it
it
does.
want this?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, we
was
get
my-
like the trends all the time that like people are like, if you do a shorter video with text on the screen, like it seems to do better right now and on TikTok. So like
Weird.
people
that's like-
are paying very close attention to like what does work, but at the same time, like there's no, it's working. It worked in the past, and
doesn't
we're
mean it's gonna
seeing it
continue
now, but it's not going to work right now for you probably.
It's like every artist I follow, many of the artists who have been on our shows, like I constantly see them posting something where it's them looking at a camera with
Yeah.
their song and some writing on it.
And everyone, like nobody wants to do it. Everyone's just talking, like it probably in the interviews,
Right.
they're just like, I hate TikTok. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. Yeah.
but everybody feels like this is what I got to try to
You have
do.
to.
Yeah.
'cause
You have
maybe
to at
it'll
least
work.
try.
I mean, social media is so strange to begin with. And I feel like social media has gotten less and less social over time,
Definitely.
where now it's just promotion.
It's
Yeah.
just people advertising to other people to where they're trying to advertise.
Right.
Yeah.
And you
like,
follow them because you're like, oh, they're a good advertiser.
Have you tried promoting your TikToks?
No,
It works.
really.
Yeah.
Like, you mean putting ad dollars behind
Yeah.
them?
They just promote it.
I've heard like a lot of TikTok numbers are like super inflated.
Oh yeah,
Kind of
it's
like how Facebook videos
I mean,
are.
it's literally like how much money you put into it is how many likes and views it's gonna get.
You just,
For
you
a
just
lot of
buy
people.
per. Like,
Yeah, literally. Like you can, it'll tell you how many like views it's gonna get, and then the like to view ratio is pretty like. You
That's
can most
crazy.
of the time figure out what it is.
It makes me wonder if it's, I don't know, falsified or inflated, or if they are just that good. Like
Yeah.
they just know you
Yeah.
throw this much money, we will put it in front of this many people, and this people will click.
It's weird because whenever I see like a sponsored TikTok, I scroll so fast. Like I don't even begin to let it. Like if I see the little sponsored thing, I'm like, no.
Oh right, because on okay, I will say I sound so old. I don't know how TikTok works. I've
Yeah.
never used it. I've never downloaded it. I refuse to download it. I don't really use social media at all anymore.
That's good.
I didn't like make that choice. I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
And got old and grouchy and hate people.
Yeah,
So I just kind of stopped.
that's the thing. You would do really well on TikTok because you have that mindset.
Probably. Probably fucking crush it. But
Watch you become a TikTok celebrity.
I'm be a
That'd be the
TikToker.
irony of my life.
but
Your
just
wife is
scrolling
trying
past
so
something
hard on
counts.
TikTok.
I know. She's
She
always
tries
making
so
TikToks.
hard, and it's like,
And then she always tries to say things that are like, or post things on Facebook that are like serious or like important or about a topic. And I'm like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I
all
watch
you're
my
gonna do is make
sister.
people
and
mad.
his wife is my sister. I
Right.
watch her social media, and I'm like, she's doing all the things people do to try to have an account that blows up, but it's not blowing up.
Yeah,
And I'm like, there's so many people like that that are just like,
doing the trends.
they're doing the trends because they're trying to get the thing that
Yeah.
takes off.
Yeah.
And then the fucked up part is there's people where that works. And
That's literally what it is. It's like you do it until it works, and then you're like, okay, it worked. Like you just do whatever trend is happening, and then one of yours will probably get popular, and then you feed off that. I don't know.
yeah. And then you encounter some of those people in town, and you're just like, kind of fuck that person.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're like a super mediocre musician who was able to like trick a bunch of kids into like posting on, clicking a picture of
It's
you.
changing the music industry a lot for sure because people like will have a kind of not great song and it will do really well on TikTok, and that'll get them like label deals or publishing deals, and then they're like in the rooms with like really big writers and producers and like. But I don't feel like I don't know. Who am I to say? But like, it feels like they're like not ready for that. Like as a writer, they're kind of just like they wrote one song that was kind of like weird, and it happened to just like go viral on TikTok.
Yeah. I did find actually, not on TikTok, but from TikTok.
Yeah.
It was on YouTube, but it was a TikTok.
Yeah.
You know how that works.
Yeah.
You know the internet.
Heard of it.
I actually discovered a band that way.
Yeah.
And it was because of their stupid, short, little funny videos, like a little compilation of them. It's Adam and the Metal Hawks.
Cool.
I don't know if you've seen them at all, but they do covers.
They're incredibly famous. No one's really heard of them.
Well, that's how TikTok works. Like you have
Right.
like millions and millions of followers, but like, who are you?
Yeah. So
they're super cool. You check them out.
So this kind of dovetails into something I was listening to yesterday. I was listening to like an evolutionary biologist talk about. He was talking about like it was a lot about biology and how it affects like not just dating relationships but mating relationships, etc. But he was talking about how like narcissists, like a lot of times like younger women end up being attracted to narcissistic men, like the bad boy.
Sure.
And the reason is because like narcissism, it emulates things that people are actually looking for, which is like status,
Confidence. Yeah. It's
competence, that confidence and being the center of attention and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It looks similar to what it looks like for somebody to be like a competent, good person who's doing well in their community and contributing to society and making money and being supportive and able to like support a family and all these things and security. But actually, it's just because they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But it looks similar.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about like a lot of times like younger women are the kinds that are more attracted to like bad boys, but usually like after they have an experience, like as you get older, you're like, oh, that's
I feel like that's
bullshit.
true for young men as well. Like you see a lot of young boys like watching like Andrew Tate, you know, or like
oh yeah, and they totally fall for it.
yeah, they're like, wow, that guy has his shit together. Like he knows what he's talking about. And
So
like,
it's just young people.
Yeah, you're just easily
believe
manipulated.
That narcissists, like they look just the same to them
right, 'cause
as
it's just
competent
confidence.
people.
Yeah, it's like people that are just like confident in who they are and what they believe in, and are like going to tell you how it is. And young people like want to hear that because they're like, I don't know how it is. Like, please tell me how it is.
That's
right.
so
And they
true.
want to be that.
yeah, they want to be like that, confident. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's so true. I remember being 18, 19 and like people who told you how it is.
Yeah.
You're like, yes, please.
And that's how it is. Like, that's true for like your formative years. Like when you're young, the first time you like hear a fact, even if it's not true, if you think it's like a fact, you're like prone to think that it is for a long period of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I heard something about that, like called like something first principle, whatever.
And
Anyway,
then you
yeah.
repeat it for the rest of your life. to
Yeah,
everybody you
even
meet.
if like it's not true and you know it's not true, like in the back of your mind, you're like, I kind of know that
No
it,
thing,
yeah.
You know, I didn't know who Andrew Tate was when he got arrested.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I didn't know anything about him
I didn't know
either.
anything about him, but I have really, really enjoyed his like from prison tweets. Which, by the way, how's he tweeting? This
Nobody
is not like a nice
knows.
prison.
Is
Isn't
he-
even him.
Is he in prison? I don't even know
I
what's
don't
going
know
on.
what's going on, but my God, they're
It's just
great. Have
scum
you
of
read
the-
them?
No, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Wesley, I'm gonna need you to bring up some Andrew Tate tweets.
Yeah. I just know he like
It's
talks
like,
about the
I
Matrix.
saw a rat
lot.
today. It's like I overcame him
There's
with my
no
man
way that's
strength.
him.
Like it's like I'm like there's no
No shot.
And they're so wild. They are hilarious, and I hope it's him.
That would be incredible.
I want him to have like
that
smug little
almost, like-
cell phone up his butt to get in there, and now he's tweeting about this crazy shit,
Damn.
Could he like
fending off rats and.
throw paper airplanes out of like the window of his
Those are
cell?
the tweets.
Yeah,
He has like an
Somebody's just-
assistant out there.
fans
like,
are just
got one,
waiting.
I got one.
Oh, we gotta zoom. There's can you
The
zoom?
Matrix may have imprisoned me, but I am free inside the real world. See, that's what I know about him from like the arrest made me aware of his existence.
Yeah.
And I noticed he talked about the Matrix a lot, and I was like, you friggin' idiot.
Well, the thing about Twitter now, it's
Oh,
like,
sorry.
it's verified, but like that doesn't mean anything.
Hello, imbecile.
That's the one.
Oh my God,
Okay.
that's so long.
Oh, wait, put it back, Wesley. You're going to have to scroll down in a second, but how do you want your haircut? It reminded me of this story, and I told them to shave it all off. Nobody gives a fuck about my hair. They care about what kind of man I am.
There is
R.I.P.
0%
Emery
chance
Tate.
that he is tweeting that.
That was 3 hours
chance.
ago.
Yeah, no
That
way.
was 3 hours ago. It's definitely him, right? It's his account. He's got the blue check mark. That's how you know it's real.
Anyone can have that now. That's what's so confusing. Twitter is so weird.
But every once in a while, just scrolling Reddit, like one of those things will come up, and I'll
Yeah.
just reason be like, what is this life? Like, what is even happening?
It's crazy out there.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I still don't really know why he's famous. He's just like an influencer.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know where he came from.
I don't know what
YouTube,
his
I
jam
guess.
is. Does he like do a thing?
He was a YouTuber, I think.
A
Like,
YouTuber?
He
I
would just
don't
like
know.
talk about like misogynistic stuff, and people would be like, "Hell yeah!"
Absolutely.
So the way I was going to connect this back to TikTok with like narcissists and like Andrew, you brought up Andrew Tate as a good example. Like, so with TikTok, if it seems like a bunch of people are into them, it's almost like with the record labels. Oh yeah, same here, please. I like we made you the arbiter.
I like
just
it.
the
It gives me
bartender.
a job.
Of the cooler. so, like with TikTok, it's like all the record labels. I like, if you're a little an older millennial,
Yeah.
you've watched all these things come and go, and
Right.
you remember it before they existed.
Right, you
and
remember
it-
Zynga?
and you watch
Before
Live
streaming
Journal.
was crazy. You know, it's we like experienced streaming start.
yeah.
You know, like as musicians, we're like, what's happening? We're not like selling our burnt
Like we
CDs anymore.
remember. I mean, I think
Yeah.
you're about our age. I think
I'm 29.
you're a little younger than us. We're 35.
Okay.
Talks about us like we're one person,
We're 35.
but we have
we
the
are.
same birth date, and we're both
like
like
combined, you guys are 35? Or
Yeah. We're like 17 and a half each. It's crazy. I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I had
Move
a
on.
train of thought. So
Yeah, but I was interrupting it to give you mine.
I know, but back to my train. Fucking train baron.
Train
so,
crasher.
So, the record, like, it seems like ever since Napster, record labels have been like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then every time something's popular, they go, all right, we're going to sign everybody who's successful on this platform.
Yep.
And like that happened with MySpace and Facebook and Instagram and Spotify and
Yeah.
TikTok's currently. And I remember like hearing, oh, TikTok's kind of popping off like a few years ago. And I was like, that will be the next thing. And I knew that I should do something there, but I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
And here we are. And but yeah, so like it feels like the labels, it almost feels like they're like the naive young people
Totally.
who listen to whoever seems competent, and they just go, if someone is popular on a platform, there is dollars there we can
Yeah.
extract.
That's all it is.
That person will be signed.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what the record labels are looking for. They're looking for money. And even if your music doesn't do well, you can still make money on TikTok. So like they're just like, if you're already popular on TikTok, like we're gonna come in, take royalties off that, take royalties off your song doing well on TikTok, like whatever. But yeah, it's kind of just like,
I wonder what narratives people in the future will have, because the narrative we grew up with is you go out and you make music and you put it out there and you try, you play some shows, and you might be discovered by a record label.
yeah. Now it's
And-
like you might be discovered by TikTok,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
so
it
weird.
really gives the platform to anyone, because it's just like people will record themselves just playing like a video of them playing a song, like guitar and vocal, and like that'll go viral because I
mean,
don't know.
It's the same as YouTube was when it started.
Yeah,
right?
totally. It's
like you remember
but it's
before
just
YouTube.
Infinitely bigger than YouTube because there's so many more viewers and so many more people using the platform
Is
that
there?
like definitely
I gotta know the numbers on that.
at least like when YouTube started. I mean, you know what I'm
Wesley.
saying?
Well,
we're really putting you to work today, Wesley. This is more, I don't normally ask you this much.
I have a question. So you do a lot of different musical things. We haven't touched much on people that you produce.
Yeah.
Who are you like currently producing that you're psyched about, or who are some of your like main people? Because I know as a producer, like there's plenty of different random things you do, but then there's like people you kind of work with on a recurring basis.
Yeah.
So I'm curious who you work with, and then a follow-up question that may or may not dovetail into it is like, where do you find your like purest artistic expression? Is it with Girlhouse? Is it with your production clients? Is it the combination of all of them? Is it a specific project you do?
Okay. First question. I'm producing like this guy John Bryant. He's a Canadian artist, and he comes to Nashville all the time to like work with me, which is awesome. And he's really cool. He does kind of like ambient singer-songwriter vibes, which I feel like I'm really good at, because I kind of gravitate to like the ambient kind of stuff. That anything that's like pretty and like sweet, like sonically, is kind of like what I like. So I really like working with him, and I've been doing like I'm making an album with him right now, and I'm also producing some stuff with Wilby Maria,
Nice.
Nashville artist. But yeah, I think Girlhouse is kind of like the place where I feel most creatively like I can do whatever I want. Obviously, like Lauren will be like, I don't like that, but when I'm making it at first, it's literally like the weirdest choices. Like if I have an idea that I think is crazy, I'm just like, I'm gonna do it and just see what happens. And I don't feel like I get a lot of kickback from Lauren because it's usually like, yeah, that's sick, or it's like, please change that immediately. But yeah, working with other artists is like, I try to put my flair on it, and then usually like, especially since like COVID, it's kind of been more like they'll send me a voice memo of a song, at least if it's like remote work, and I'll just produce an entire track around that, and they'll send me vocals on top of that, and then I'll mix that in. That's like how I do a lot of work with people in like Canada or LA or whatever it is, New York. And you kind of get a lot of notes after that, and it's just like I want this to be more like this guitar to be more clean, or like whatever it is. And I made like a clear choice of like making something really distorted or like something crazy. So that's kind of where I feel like, but obviously it's like it's their song, so I'm gonna do whatever they want. But yeah, with Girlhouse, it feels like I can just go off and just kind of like do whatever it is,
Yeah.
which leads to a lot of weird sonically weird songs.
Yeah, it is
Or
kind of weird.
sonically interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of weird when you get a note that's like, oh, I like that thing you do, but okay, so when you said clear story guitar, it's like you make this like very determined decision to make this
Yeah.
like very like this thing with a lot of character. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, but that with like clean,
Yeah,
not
they don't
distortion.
really
It's like, but that like
necessarily
ruins
understand.
its whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different thing at that point.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I don't even want that guitar. I want it to be something else.
That
Well-
is like the hardest part about producing that I've kind of learned the last few years, because I was really passionate at first. I was just like, no, like I promise this is the way, and then it's just
Yeah.
kind of like I just gave up, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just like try it a different way. Whatever you think, whatever you want, I'll try and make it whatever you think is right.
Yeah. See, I don't play music for a living. I mean, I know how to play guitar. I've been in a band, but I don't do that now. I write code now, and so I primarily connect with music through the show or just listen as a listener.
Yeah.
Right. And like what you're talking about, they're like, okay, well, to you, like that may ruin the whole thing. But to like an average listener, that's not necessarily true.
That's the whole thing. It's just like nothing. That's what I used to be so passionate about. Is like, I promise this is it. This is make or break. But nothing that you do to a song is make or break. It's just right place, right time, whatever it is.
And so much
is what it
preference,
is.
personal
Yeah.
taste.
That's the thing. Like whoever hears it is going to have their own thing with
Right.
it. So it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Like personally,
Someone's going to like it. Someone's going to hate it.
I love empty space
Yeah.
in music. I like stop times. I like the nothing and then the loud.
Yeah.
You know, and I like aggressive music.
Yep.
And that's generally what I like.
Yeah.
And I know like Ryan has shown me over many, many years tons and tons of things that he's done and worked on. And usually I'm like, yeah, but I want it to be more aggressive. Like I want more guitar. I want more louder. I want it bigger. Like I want
So
or
do
I
you
want
like-
less. I want
Do you
empty
like
space.
I think you would
me
like
and Tyler's
Girlhouse a lot then.
in me and Tyler's new song, we have a stop time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told you this, but that's the one remaining piece of your production that is in the final thing.
Yeah.
Is you playing guitar on after verse 1 goes.
Wait, you used the actual recording?
I
of me
used
playing
your
guitar?
recording of you going
That's sick.
chun chun, and there's a stop time. It's just chun chun,
Nice.
bam.
Yeah, that's the shit I love. Like
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Me
you
too.
know?
Yeah, I love that stuff too.
And as I've gotten older, I feel like my tastes have not widened, but narrowed. Like,
Yeah.
You know, I know what I like. Though that being said, I did adopt a whole new genre of music over this
Oh,
last
who
year.
did you adopt?
A genre.
What is it?
Lo-fi.
Dude, same.
Because when
That's
I-
like all I listen to right now.
I realized I've only been like a software developer for like a year.
Yeah.
I started like a year and a half ago or whatever. And I realized like I can't listen to lyrics.
Yeah.
And so I found Lo-Fi Girl, which I'd known about on YouTube.
Yeah.
And now, like that's like what like 90% I would listen to is just
Yeah.
lo-fi, or I'll be like retro synth 80s lo-fi.
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes
playlist.
like jazz maybe if you're feeling it.
yeah, a little jazz with like a cafe background. You know, to put on my other screen.
Retro synth 80s sounds a lot like a lot of the music I produced that you didn't like.
Well, this is not like that. Well, I'm not a.
What the hell is even that?
No. It's. I am not a big fan of the 80s. I'm not anti the 80s. It's just not really my thing. I don't see
think-
why everybody loves it so much.
We're on the same wavelength with music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would if you listen to the Girlhouse stuff, I think you'd really like it.
Well, I've listened to a bit.
Yeah.
I purposely because I didn't know. Who
I don't
Girlhouse was
expect
first.
you to listen to like
No, I
all
listen to
of
everyone. I promise. No, and when someone's coming on the show, I kind of purposely don't learn a lot about them.
Yeah.
And then I just listen to the music on the
It's
drive.
like, what are you gonna ask?
Because you're just like some guy, like to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like you want to ask me questions.
Like you told me, like you're like we have 1 million monthly listeners. I was like, I didn't know that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care.
Nobody cares.
It's fair enough. Yeah. But that's a really cool thing. But like I don't want to know that ahead of time.
Right.
I want you to tell me that on the show.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you'd be like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I don't. But I was listening to Girlhouse on the way over, and like there's some like aggressive things, like things that I could tune into there for sure.
Yeah.
There's some definitely some cool stuff.
That's
I mean,
what I
there's,
really
4 or
like
5
that too. It's
songs.
just like stuff that surprisingly is like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, holy shit, that's loud. Like, how did they even make it that loud? That's what I like.
That's what I'm into. You
Yeah.
know.
So do you like the new Mooney stuff?
I do. Yeah, it's really cool. I haven't listened to the whole EP, but yeah, like the stuff that I've heard is super cool.
Yeah, same. I haven't
Just
heard
like
the whole
I
thing yet.
listened to his
Crazy.
song "Holiday"
Yeah.
with 9 L's. So much.
Do you listen to 100 Gex?
I don't know. I know I've heard that, but I don't know.
You would love 100 Gex.
Okay.
It's just like digital clipping.
Interesting.
It's just loud music.
Okay, I'll
but
check
it's, like,
that out.
cool.
100 Gex.
Yeah.
GEX or GKS?
GECS.
CS.
They just put out their album 10,000 Gex.
Okay.
The sophomore album to 1,000 Gex.
Mel
Yeah.
listen on the drive home tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're growing exponentially.
Oh yeah, the next one's gonna be crazy.
100,000 gex.
100,000
World's not
Gex.
ready.
Gex. Million Gex. So many Gex.
Million is close. We might get million this year.
Yeah. Now is Gex like geckos?
Yeah, that's their
Like
thing.
the lizard?
Yeah, like the lizard.
Not like the Geico.
I mean, that's a lizard, I think.
Yeah, he's a gecko, right?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how lizards.
I don't know
work.
why.
I'm not a lizardologist.
I guess because gex is an animal, it reminded me of this. Have you heard of a band called Goose?
No.
So I hadn't either, but here's this weird thing. I went to Bonnaroo this last year, and I guess the singer from a band called Goose got up and like did a feature with somebody. He was just doing some
That is
other
such
artist.
a cool band name.
So he gets up,
Goose.
and when he gets up, the audience, I've never heard of Goose. The audience starts going, Goose, 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 Goose,
Just looking around
Goose.
like, what about-
Yeah, there's Goose. 287,000 monthly listeners, 2 million top song.
Dude,
Tyler's got him beat.
They all
And so-
look so different.
So
They look
anyway,
cool.
I'm like,
Yeah, they look
who?
cool. Yeah. They look like some guys I'd have beer with.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely like at a craft brewery.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, who's this band that people like have a chant for them? Like I've never
Goose.
And then this last like Sunday or whatever I was listening, I had Lightning 100 on in the background, and they were doing like a live concert with them and talking about like, we got Goose in the studio, you guys, this is amazing, and like they were so stoked about Goose, and I'm like, I've not heard of this, and people are so excited, and I don't know why that I Gex in
Yeah,
Goose connected
Gex,
in my head.
Animal, one word, band.
but, yeah,
But yeah,
and a lot of enthusiasm.
yeah. So they're like a kind of loud, fast.
I don't
kinda-
know.
Oh, you haven't
You still
listened?
haven't heard Goose?
Haven't heard. Yeah, let's actually see.
You just know
together.
the legend of Goose.
We'll play 4 seconds of it.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yeah, let's see what.
Yeah,
it-
only 4 seconds though. That's the limit.
Goose.
let's
I
see-
hope that's how it starts.
Let's see why people would chant.
All right, give me some Goose.
People will chant for
Goose
a lot
man.
of things.
Oh, I feel like it's more like Goose.
They have bongos?
Okay, we're gonna skip ahead to
That's
not
vibey.
get copyright struck.
This feels like a sitcom intro.
It honestly sounds like Night Tides. That's definitely
Actually,
your vibe.
the chord changes. I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, I like this.
and like all the vocal chords that they have in the background.
You know,
I was
speaking-
digging it. I don't know why people are chanting that, but if people chant
It's
night tides then.
it's just their
not
thing.
there
Goose
yet.
is one syllable. It's easy.
Goose.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be
true.
just tides.
I
Tides.
really fucked up.
Yeah, but no. Have you ever been attacked by a goose?
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
A lot.
I feel like
Yeah.
most people have.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
And
They hiss and they're scary and weird.
and your reaction is generally run away like a little girl
Of course.
and hide from that goose.
Yeah, scream.
I
Run.
made a decision recently that I will not be doing that next
You will
time.
back down.
That next time I'm fighting the goose.
I will not back down.
Because I was thinking about like it's a bird.
Yeah, what is it gonna do?
So-
they barely have teeth.
They do have teeth.
I know, but they're like
They're little nubbins.
that's the goose sound.
I actually looked into it recently because I had made this decision like a week ago in my mind, and I was talking to my wife about it because this is what we talk about. And
It's time for me to kick Geese's ass.
and so I looked it up, and geese bite. They don't even hurt.
Of course, their teeth are
Apparently
like
they can
teeny.
barely break your skin. Like they're
No.
weak.
They're like so small.
Is that why they have to be so scary?
All you
Pulling up a
yeah.
picture of geese teeth?
now that's a terrifying looking
It's
close up.
scary, but like, what's he gonna do to you?
Right, they can't do shit. Anyways, point
Those
is, next time
look
a
like
goose
a
comes at
thousand
me,
little knives to me.
yeah, but apparently their jaw strength is really weak.
So it's like, man, it's
I
kind
mean,
of
yeah,
like
it's a fucking
it's
little
like a
bird.
it's like a
bird.
massage.
What are you gonna do?
Borderline massage.
So, so I'm like kind of looking forward. To,
It's
like,
more
the
like
next
the
time.
idea, like do you ever like go in a lake and like fish kind of nibble on you?
Yeah,
I hate that.
yeah. You're like, oh, get off
Obviously,
me, fish.
it doesn't hurt, but it's like I don't like a
You're like, fuck these
creature like
fish.
nibbling on my body. It's
right.
weird.
And then there's like spas you can go to where they have.
Dude, they have it at the Opry Mills Mall.
Yeah, the fish eat all the like the
Yeah.
your feet. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
they eat like the dead skin.
right.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
I would rather
like, Those
die.
fish are nasty.
And they have to pay to do it.
right? The
What do
fish
you-
gotta pay too.
This is fucked up. But when you just said, I don't like the idea of a creature nibbling on me, my response was, that's why I just spend my time hanging shelves for my girlfriend.
That would have been a great moment for he's pulling his cock out.
I think we talked about that off air too. So there's no frame of reference.
I think it was on there a little bit, right? Maybe not.
Depends how I edit. And here's the glorious thing. I'm not going to edit this episode for like 3 weeks.
Amazing.
I'm going to totally forget.
But then you'll remember when you watch it and you're like,
I probably
this is
will.
the funniest thing I've ever seen.
100%. Also, I'm probably going to put in some stuff I didn't mean to say. Speaking of, let me wrap this up full circle. I started the episode off air telling you about these ladies from LA. And I'll do that. I've had enough alcohol to talk
To tell
about
the
it
story
publicly.
now?
Yeah, they won't hear our show.
They listen to every episode. They're huge fans.
They might. But I'll keep it vague.
Karen.
Double Karen?
100%, dude. It was
Damn.
Karen and Karen.
I've never met a double Karen in my life.
Not their real
It's
names.
like a double rainbow, but not as good.
Yeah, not good at all.
And they were visiting. They're both from LA. One lives here now, and one is they're that kind of famous that's like, I've never heard of them, but maybe your girlfriend has, kind of famous.
Sure.
And so it was like one had been on a TV show, and the other one, I don't know what she does, but she's a part of the show. So they came here to rent our podcast studio.
Yeah.
And they did a podcast sitting in these very chairs.
Okay.
And
I'm scared.
and
Not
we're
that one, just
we're
these two.
the studio. Actually, their guest was in that chair, and so we rent this out to other people. So they were doing this, but here's the thing: they did not bring a Wesley to monitor the audio and video.
Everyone needs a
They
website.
thought that was
just-
included.
they
Like
just-
engineering.
Yeah, and so they came in here and they wanted a different kind of production than we do. They wanted 3 additional lights added. They brought their own lights. They wanted me to set up the lights.
The lighting in here is
And
great.
so I started by helping setting up the lights and everything. And at a certain point, when you help people, but you're not really supposed to.
Yeah.
It's they didn't pay you to, but you're just
Right.
like being a helpful
Yeah.
person.
You're not going to say no.
And then I hit a point where I was like, man, I'm overworking on this right now, but I'm just being helpful. But then they go, wait, who's going to monitor our cameras while we're recording?
I don't know.
And so
That's up to you.
I stopped them. This is a great time to interject. And I was like, hey, just pulled them aside real quick. So I'm helping you with all this lighting and stuff, but that's not really my job because you haven't paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you want somebody to monitor your cameras. Guess what? We offer a service where you can pay us to do that.
Yeah.
And if you do, we'll monitor the cameras and the audio and make sure everything works out. I will take full responsibility for your product working out. I will monitor everything. It will work.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, how much is that? I tell them, and they're like, yeah, well, we already spent all this money. We really don't want to do that. Now, here's the thing that pissed me off about that. they were had flown in one of their hosts from Los Angeles for the show, and they flew in guests, and all three of their guests were the same kind of famous, where I hadn't heard of them, but my girlfriend has.
Me being your girlfriend.
Yeah.
In this, in this scenario.
Yeah. And so they were like, they had been on reality show. All their guests had been on reality shows and
Love.
like have big followings, but like you haven't, it's that same thing we were talking about TikTok. Like some people are, they're like famous, but you've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, and they claim, and so anyway, what they said to me was, hey, you know, I know you do like a lot of podcasts in here, but we're actually, you know, we're probably the biggest show you've had in here. And we really don't want to pay more money, but maybe you could just help us out and we'll do an, you know, like social media blast for you. And can we just work together? And they both like, oh, can we just work together? Can we just do this? And
That's perfect because your rent costs like 900 exposures. that's how that works.
and yeah, it's frustrating because you're like, yeah, maybe the exposure would mean something, but the thing I also know is like that often doesn't happen, and they never do it anyway.
Yeah, or they'll like throw it in at like the end of the episode, and maybe like a fifth of their viewers will see it, and then like a third of those people will actually go to like
Right.
like because they're not like a brand that lines with your brand, you know,
Right.
like they're
Right.
like none of their
and
followers.
if they
are gonna
had
care.
like a podcast with a ton of listeners, they wouldn't be renting this studio. for the day.
Exactly.
You know, like they would have their own shit.
that's the thing, people say like I'm doing so well, look at me, but then like if you can't afford the minimal rate of production, it's like what are you actually doing?
Right. If you already spent all that money flying everybody out, it's not. I mean, I don't know what you charge
Yeah.
for that, but I assume it's not 10 grand.
Right.
No. It was a few hundred
Very
bucks.
A couple $100 bucks. Yeah, a few
reasonable.
$100 bucks.
And so it was one of those things where it was very frustrating, but what they were like, can you just like, they wanted to do the minimal, and the minimal was have me come in and check the cameras every 20 odd some minutes
Yeah.
and just make sure they're still going.
You just kind of like press record, leave. and-
Right.
Yeah.
And then come back. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do that. So I offered to do that for free, essentially to please these people.
Yeah, because it's
And
hard to
it's
say
like-
no to people like in that
Right to their
situation.
face.
And
Yeah.
you're like, well, maybe they'll come back and become regular clients. And really, like, I've built my career on going above and beyond people
Totally.
for people.
Yeah.
So that they would keep coming back to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Ironically, the week before this, we had sat down with Abby Holiday.
Mhm.
And you and I talked shit about LA people and how much I hate B actors. And why that's why I didn't move to LA. And anyway, these were B actors. And so I did the minimum for them. I came in every 20 some odd minutes for free and checked their cameras.
Yeah.
But here's what happened.
Oh no.
As things do, technology failed. So I'm out of the room for 26 minutes. And a camera failed. At one point, the audio failed. But I told them, if
You're not
you
responsible,
hire me,
yeah.
I will take full responsibility for anything that goes wrong.
Yeah.
I will make it work.
Mhm.
They did not hire me. I did my best. But sometimes cameras stop recording, things happen.
Yeah. If you're not there for 20 plus minutes, yeah, anything could happen.
Anything can happen. And
This is Nashville.
and
Like, 3 tornadoes could
real-
come through in that
and
A
time.
fire? Who knows?
And the real frustrating thing is I would come in and I would hear them talk about how they just did the one lady, dude, she goes, yeah, me and my husband, I won't do her accent so we don't know who she is. She goes, me and my husband just went to like Italy or Disney World, one of those.
Somewhere expensive.
Same place, yeah. And he doesn't like that I make more money, so he paid for it. But like, you know, I just went and did a TikTok to finish paying for it or whatever. I had to do a TikTok, but it's fine. And every time I came in here, they were like, my stories recently. Like, have you noticed how bad the algorithm's been? Like these brand ambassador deals I'm doing, like, I only made 30 grand on this. Like, I feel like it's a total waste at this point. And I'm just like, I hate you people. So they're in here having rich, entitled girl talk about how they're all rich and
And
entitled.
people aren't paying them enough for their job for doing their jobs.
Right.
Which is just nothing.
And how they're
Let's be
making,
real.
they're making tons of money posting stories of themselves.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, will you pay me $75 an hour to make sure your product comes out good? And they're like,
Right.
we can't.
We can't afford that. There's no way.
Right.
It's not
We
on the
have to
budget.
fly out all our guests. And then problems happened. They lost some footage. because that happens. And then now they're messaging me. They are still messaging me. It has been weeks. They are still messaging me. I'm in a group chat with their video editor. We're missing these files. We're missing this. Can you go look at your cards? And I'm like, we've sent you everything.
Yeah.
Cameras fail. And I actually got to the point. I'm typically fairly tactful / I don't want to have a bad interaction with somebody. So I usually don't tell them what I'm really thinking.
Right.
But I hit the point with them where I said, did I not tell you that if you paid me, I would take full responsibility?
You said that?
Yes.
What'd they say?
I said this in a text, and I said, you did not pay me, so I do not take responsibility for you losing files.
Yeah.
That's what happens with computers. I said, you have been on professional television sets.
Yeah.
Did a camera person ever
All of those
set up
people
the
were getting
camera
paid.
and then leave the room and just trust it would work?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I've been on sets for 22 years and blah, 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 and this whole thing.
Why did they have
and
to fly people out here?
Oh, because they're from other places.
Why wouldn't
But
they just
they're a
do it
bit-
from like they're
the-
from LA?
Right. Like, why don't they do it in
Like
LA?
they're flying people from LA.
I think they flew people from like the middle of the country and other things, reality stars that just live other places.
Got it.
And one of them lives in Nashville, one of them lives in LA, so they
Okay.
figured it out. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was the most entitled shit I've ever encountered. And it just really, truly made me hate LA people more.
Good man. Come over to the dark side. I hate
just-
LA so much.
I'm moving back to LA in July.
Are you
are?
really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
First of all, sad.
Sad.
We're gonna
Sad.
miss you.
Love Nashville. Nothing against Nashville. Well, some things against Nashville. But like
Sure.
just like politically does not align with me. Also politically does not align with me. I don't know, just like the gun laws, like we had a shooting in front of our house. The whole time I was driving over here I was like, I'm not
What,
going to
what
talk.
part of town are you guys in?
We're in East Nashville. Like we're
Oh, okay.
like up Dickerson a little bit.
Cool.
But, like,
Where my
it's-
girlfriend just moved.
Yeah, I mean, like it's the cool, like that's where everybody lives. That's like doing music, and
Oh yeah, same. We're about to get into guns. We're gonna need more.
we're out of
alcohol.
claws.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'll take
ranch
one,
water.
anything, as long as it's not the spicy one.
One of these? You want one of these?
I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
I'll take me a pickle pear. Shooting. You said
Shooting
you're up,
in East Nashville.
you're up
Yeah, yeah.
Dickerson, which when I moved here, I moved by Dickerson and Trinity Lane. is
That's
where I
really
was.
close to me. I'm like a little bit further up on like Dixon and Hart, basically.
Bro, I heard in my first 2 months of living here, I heard 6 gunshots across the street from me.
Yeah.
And had 22 brown reclusos, and I got out of my lease and I left East
yeah.
Nashville.
See, that's the story everybody tells about like living in East Nashville. It's like, yeah, I hear gunshots all the time. I've had a gunshot like come through my window. I've like that's
My landlord, I went to him, I was like, hi, I need to leave because these reasons. And he's like, that's just East Nashville.
yeah, it's like I'm gonna leave forever, but yeah, like
Wesley says, not him. I'm about to move to East Nashville to live with Wesley and his wife. So anyway.
I love East Nashville. That's like why I moved here, because it was like there's so much cool, like there's so many cool restaurants and bars, and like it's just such a cool area. It feels very like artist friendly, and like everyone I know who's an artist lives over there. But yeah, it's just like you're allowed to have guns and just like do whatever you want with them, and that kind of freaks me out. I'm not a gun guy. I've never
I get that.
had a gun, never shot a gun.
I was also not a gun guy until recently.
Yeah.
I am definitely a gun guy now. But I consider myself, in general, fairly liberal
Yeah.
for the most part. I mean, it's all depends on the subject that
Sure.
we're talking about. But I'm not going to try to get into a whole gun debate right now because, well, mainly because we don't have time. Like, we're almost out of here. But otherwise, I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
But no, I totally get not believing. I like one of the reason that I like Nashville is because I feel like you are more allowed to believe what you want here than
Sure.
you are in California. In California, I feel like you either like follow the company line
Yeah.
or like you're no good.
Yeah.
And here I'm like, you can be liberal, you can be conservative, like it's fine.
Yeah.
Specifically in Nashville, not
Right.
the rest of Tennessee. Like, that's
I
a different
know,
story.
yeah. It's just-
Nashville and San Diego are similar.
Yes.
Because
one
I've
gives
talked
a-
about this like every episode.
San Diego is very like conservative, kind of like
San Diego's conservative and a
but
liberal state.
surprisingly yeah, exactly. It's like a liberal area, but then you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Right.
And then Nashville is liberal in a conservative state.
Right.
But because I was raised in San Diego, that feels like home to me in a sense.
Yeah.
Because you're in a city that doesn't agree with the state.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like that causes a blend of people to where you're not like, you can't go full liberal or full conservative because the people you're interacting with are like might be opposite of you.
Yeah.
And so to me it makes like you have to like play nice. Obviously not everybody plays nice.
Yeah.
But like I like the diversity.
Somebody said to me like 5 years ago, Nashville was a melting pot of like different kinds of people. Now it's a cesspool. And I was like, yeah, that sums it up really well. It's just like, I feel like a lot of the like bachelorette parties and stuff have brought on.
For the audio only listeners, I spilled a ranch water. Hence the giggle of bachelor parties.
A lot of the bachelorette parties and like the anonymity of like people partying on Broadway has brought a culture of conservative, like scary, dangerous people to Nashville that like they just feel comfortable to move here. They're like, this is sick. I'm going to do this every day. I'm just going to move here.
And just be a dirtbag every day.
Yeah. And it's like scary. And I don't know. We used to make trips here all the time and it was like such a cool place. And like everyone was like really nice and I'd never had any problems. And then like I moved here and like things just kind of changed.
Thank you, Wesley.
I don't know. And I still love Nashville. It's so beautiful and it's like growing so much. And like, we're keeping our house here. Like we're going to come back all the time. Yeah, we're going to rent it out. So it's kind of like a temporary move back to LA, but like right now our neighbors are just like, they're the ones who shot, like they totaled both of our cars with AR-15s. And we're just like,
What?
yeah, they totaled both of our cars and the police are like, yeah, that's why I don't live in Dickerson County. And I'm like, cool, I'm not going to live in Dickerson County anymore either.
Yeah.
They totaled,
that's a
aka
different-
they shot up your cars?
Yeah, because someone was dragging one of their prostitutes down the street by their hair in front of our house and that caused some anger from someone and they started shooting at them, who's our next door neighbor.
To be fair, I understand why you'd have some anger if your prostitute's being dragged by her hair.
Yeah, but why do you have a prostitute in the first place?
Good point.
So
Because you live on Dickerson.
But just
Yeah.
to be clear, you're moving to avoid that.
Yes,
You're going to LA.
where I lived for 10 years, never once
Really?
saw a gun.
What?
Ever. And I won't ever. Like
LA is so crime ridden.
it may be it's illegal to shoot a gun in city limits in Los Angeles,
All
California.
right,
is here,
we
too.
have now
No, it's
entered
not.
into
In
the
Davidson County.
The police have told me that it is not.
we have entered into the try to convince Tyler to move to San Diego instead part of the podcast.
No,
Here's the
but-
thing.
Diego, beautiful beaches.
in
One day I will
Davidson
be in
County.
San
It's illegal to fire a gun in Davidson County unless you are in a like designated spot.
Unless
or
it's in
whatever.
defense of you.
Yes,
Which
but
it-
in
Or you're
California, you
prostitute,
can also be in
apparently.
defense. You just
Okay.
can't lethally shoot in defense.
Well,
Which is a weird.
Their whole
from my
thing-
understanding, I am not a lawyer. Do not take what I say
this
as
is not legal
advice.
advice.
For the record, please.
The police could not do a thing about it. And
yeah, that's wild.
I don't know. We just,
That's a wild situation.
we
for
just
sure.
learned a lot about like the government in Tennessee. And
That's fair. Yeah, there's some fucked up shit.
there's some fucked up shit. And that
You can see it in
aside,
the recent news.
Yeah.
It's been real fucked up recently.
I know. It's it just gets worse and worse.
Living off Dickerson made me want to move back to California
Yeah.
too.
So it's working. I'm moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll probably come back at some point. I love Nashville. I don't want to like be like I fucking hate this place.
Right.
But-
you got some issues with it, which
Yeah.
is fine. It's
Everyone
normal.
has
That's
it. I
normal.
have so many issues with LA too. Like that's why I
You
left.
should, because LA is the worst place in the world, and it should be burned to the ground.
LA's probably like a lot nicer now than peak COVID.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot nicer than it wasn't. I bet you it was nicer in peak COVID, if we're being real, with all the people staying in their fucking houses.
Maybe.
Like, because LA people are just the worst. I just hate LA so much.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I don't know
I'm
if you
amazed.
can tell. This is the dripping anger of it. How
fucking
much
hate that
I
place.
can't
I
stand
think
LA.
most San Diegans sort of hate LA, but
It makes
like,
sense.
True.
It's
I honestly, when I moved here, I was like very like just angry at LA. Just like I'm done with this place. I want to get the fuck out of here. But now I miss it. I don't know. Probably you guys feel like that with San Diego. Like, do you miss San Diego?
Oh, yeah,
ever?
I miss San Diego all the time.
Yeah.
But just trying to figure out, like, should I move back?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's $40 million for rent. I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like I did all the things I wanted to do here. Like we bought a house and I'm able to like rent it out and make a profit. So like
Yeah, that's
I can
great.
go back to LA, use some of that profit money
Supplement.
and just like rent a place in LA. And
That's
like
dope.
if I'm ever like, you know what, I can't afford it in LA anymore, just move back to my house that I own.
True. Yeah.
It's like it's a really good situation. Like obviously moving is hard and annoying, but
Yeah, moving across the country is a pain in the
yeah.
ass.
this is so full circle. Then I didn't
know.
realize you're like you moved to Nashville and landed at this studio, and then here you are talking about like getting ready to go back.
Yeah.
But you know what's great is like I feel like the Girlhouse sound / vibe. I'm not very in touch with what's going on in LA right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should work really well in LA.
It's definitely more LA, like more pop focused, I guess, just like vocally. I think we tried to do the like super indie Nashville thing, and I just like I can't really do it because I kind of came up making like pop records and like not that like I have pop records, but like pop sounding records.
But you do like I feel like the stuff I've heard from you, it's like indie pop.
Yeah. That's
but
what
I'm sure
I try
that,
to do.
you
But,
know,
like,
with the internet, everything is everywhere now.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it doesn't, you can be anywhere.
Yeah, it's just like in Nashville, I feel like the producers and like the writers are so cool, and I'm not that cool. And
Really?
I'm just like,
I feel like you're cool.
I'm not as cool as them. They have like the craziest like cool houses, and they like know cool chords, and they're like, I'm gonna make this song about like
Well,
farting, but make it really cool.
you're the only PC gamer we've had on the show.
See,
So
that's
to
not
me,
cool at
you're
all.
Cool.
Like cool people are like drinking orange wine, like on like outside
no, those
at a
people who
picnic.
think they're cool. They're not actually.
Like I'm just like at home playing Fortnite. Like that's all I'm ever doing.
See,
if I'm not
that's
making
cool.
music.
That's cool because fuck other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless it's like everyone else on Fortnite.
Yeah, sure.
But then
sure,
fuck them too, because
But
I'm gonna kill
for
them.
sure, fuck them. Like way more than anybody
Yeah,
else. Like
exactly.
you're going down. You're 13 years old. I've been playing games
better.
before you were born.
That's all I say when I kill people. I was like, I'm better.
I'm better.
I'm better.
Yeah, tactical crouch.
Turns out I'm better.
How about that? How about that?
Here's a weird question. Do you feel like you guys were happier when you lived in LA?
I think it's just everything ebbs and flows. Like obviously we had very happy moments in LA. I feel like I grew up in LA because I moved there when I was 18, which is like such a time. I thought I was like old, but at that point, you know, like I was like a
Right.
baby. And I didn't start like drinking until I was like 25. So I had like 5 years there of just like going to Disneyland. And, like,
Are you a Disney guy?
I'm a Disney guy.
Are you
I'm
like
a theme park? guy.
Okay, you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
Disneyland guy.
No, I mean I've been to Disney World.
Or
a
I mean,
bunch.
theme park guy though.
Yeah.
Not you don't care about the rest of Disney.
I
whatever.
love
It's
Disney
like whatever.
movies, but I
Okay.
also love like Universal Studios. Like I just
Sure.
like theme parks in general. I'm down for roller coasters, all the stuff.
My wife, his sister, used to work at Disneyland.
Yeah, a lot of my friends in LA used to work at.
Yeah.
I actually got a job at Disneyland. Like I did the interview, got the job, didn't show up. But so I didn't work there, but I like almost worked there.
We love Disneyland.
I thought it would ruin it for me, so I was like, I don't want to do it.
I went to Disneyland 26 times in 1 year.
Oh, I definitely topped that. I used to live.
Living in San Diego, though.
I lived in Fullerton, which is like
Oh, you're right there.
right next to Anaheim, and I had an annual pass. Lauren and I both we lived there, and we would go there probably like I would say 3 times a week. We would just
Yeah.
Uber
Your
there,
pass is the best.
drink at California Adventure, just like
Yep.
chill.
Oh, I loved it. I love Disney.
what a
Disney
gift.
World, not as good. Not as good.
It's different. It's very different, but
Very.
it's cool. Like
It is
they,
cool.
They have like 4 huge parks.
Right, and then 2 like shitty water parks. No.
Yeah. But like it's like way bigger, but it's like yeah, Disneyland has something magical about it. And
It's
California
like-
Adventure is so cool and like
Yeah, it's like something
Yeah.
about the original Disneyland.
yeah.
Can we all just like take a 30-second pause of silence to pretend we're on Soaring Over California, God's gift to soaring?
Yeah, except it doesn't exist anymore.
What?
It's soaring over the world.
No, Soaring Over the World is Disney World.
You wish. They also brought it
They
to
got
California.
rid. Why? I did Soaring Over the World at Disney World, and I was like, "This is not as." I'm granted, I'm a little.
No, they're both.
Yeah, I hear you. Wes.
Soaring
I've been
over
thinking about that
California
too.
is way better.
Yeah, Soaring Over California is way better.
They got rid of it. I don't know why. They switched it to Soaring Over the World.
But do you remember, as children of this day and age won't,
yeah.
smelling the oranges as
Yes.
you soared
Yeah,
over
They don't have the
California?
fucking orange smell anymore.
That's such bullshit. Like
They
it's
have, like,
California Adventure,
I don't know what they're afraid of. They had it done. Like just keep playing it.
and
I
it's
don't
not
know.
like it wasn't popular. Like everybody loves.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Soaring Over California.
Yeah.
Like, no one didn't.
And the
love
guy
that.
who played Joe on Family Guy,
He's still
was
in the
leader.
Soaring Over the World thing,
Oh.
but
Oh yeah.
it's just like it. They go to like
wild.
the Great Wall of China and like like it's different countries and stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, I did Soaring Over the World, which
Yeah,
was cool.
It
was
is cool.
but it's just not.
Different.
Yeah,
I'm sure
The
the world-
kayaking and the Soaring Over California, you get the smell of like the water.
I'm sure the world's great and all, but California's got a beat.
Yeah.
Honestly, look,
if
the
you
amount
take
of
a-
different landscapes California has,
It's incredible,
It's
right? I mean,
it is definitely
you
like the
can
most beautiful
snowboard and
state.
surf in the same day. People
Ooh.
love saying that shit.
No one has ever done that.
Ryan did it once.
I did it once.
I only said that because I knew he was about to say that shit.
But you have to like really try to do it, and it's a terrible day.
Yeah. I went to LA that day. Anyway, I loved like Hollywood Boulevard. I'll have to visit you in LA. Man, I'm sad you're leaving.
I am too. I'm really excited to go back just because I miss it and I miss the ocean.
Oh, I'd be pumped to go back too.
Yeah, I do miss the ocean.
But like I love Nashville and like especially like spring and summertime here. It's just like
the week of spring
the last
that you
couple
get.
days have been so beautiful, and I'm like driving around. I'm like, fuck,
But it's
don't
like
get
this in
that
California
LA.
all the time.
It's not like that.
No, LA is hotter than San Diego.
It's hotter, but it's like everything's still brown, even though it's like sunny. Like you don't
Not
get
right
that. Like
now. Did you see
that's true
It
because
just
they have
rained
so
a
much
ton,
rain
and
this
like
year.
I see all these pictures people are posting of green.
Yeah.
Everything's so green.
I
We've never
know.
seen this.
because it's like global warming, but
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But,
We're
yeah.
destroying the planet every day.
which is
but-
awesome for California. Like they're getting rain. Like,
right.
congrats.
we have rain now.
Until they fall into the ocean completely.
Exactly.
But we'll see. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But with
But
that,
we got to get out of here pretty soon. But before we do, there is one question that we ask every guest.
Okay.
So this is the part of the show where we ask you that question.
I'm in.
Yeah. So if you had to choose,
oh, hold on. And you do.
and you do.
Okay.
Now, the important thing about this question is I need your answer not to come from here.
Okay. From my penis.
He's pulling his cock out. And for the audio-only listeners, Jury was pointing to his head, but not the head of his penis, the head of his head, his body, the head,
No, it must come.
where his hair and his eyes and nose and mouth are.
All of those.
It must come from here.
The chest area.
General chest area.
Okay.
Behind the chest lives a beating, thriving heart.
Amazing.
Debatable. If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do.
I'm scared now.
Now, what that actually means in practice, coming from your heart and not your head, is that I need an answer quickly,
Okay. I'm scared.
instantly. I don't want you to think about it. I want the answer that's
The
deep
more you
in
talk about it, the more I'm
depths
thinking about it.
of your soul.
Don't think about it.
You can't think about it. You don't know what the question is.
That's true, but I'm thinking about what it could be.
It could be anything. Who knows?
Quick pause, because you're about to go into the answer, and this is a question I actually had. Have you ever done therapy?
I'm in therapy
I swear to God,
Really?
right?
extensively, yeah.
Really? Okay, I'm doing it right now. So when I was talking to you earlier, and I was going to tell you what the show was, and I was like, oh, I have an appointment. It was therapy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
Where
it?
do you go?
I go to a guy down in Franklin,
Okay.
which kind of sucks. It's a long drive, but he's like the right fit for me.
Look,
It's
you're not
great.
privy to this. Ryan's
I
just
love
bringing
it.
this shit up because he
No,
thinks I
that
hate
is
therapy.
like the biggest like bummer about leaving Nashville is like leaving my therapist because you can't do like they have like a state license, you know, so I can't work with
That's
my therapist.
And you
anymore.
like your person.
I love them. Yeah.
Do you see a guy or a girl?
I see a female.
Okay. Because, like, so my first therapist was a female, and she was great. And you get, like, a certain kind of thing out of that because there's more, like, mom vibes and
Yeah.
everything. But it didn't quite work out for me. And so I switched to, now I have a guy therapist. It's very different,
Yeah.
but he's the right fit for me right now. Both are great. But anyway, I feel like male-female changes it a little bit, but also, like, their temperament and their beliefs. But, like, it's just been... I'm a huge fan.
I love it. Yeah. Honestly, when I was coming in here, I was like, I'm gonna treat it like a therapy session. Just like try and be open, you know, like and it does kind of feel like that, where it's just like people asking you questions and you're just like, I don't know, just talking about nothing.
Right.
Just talk about shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I legit the show. Like I have like I feel like I have like a therapist energy, and Jury has a drinking buddy energy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's what our show is.
Yeah.
Yes. If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you do, what would you say?
Wait, hold on. The reason I brought up therapy. The reason
sure,
yeah, the reason
Is this on purpose?
yes. The reason I brought
We
up
definitely don't do this every week.
the reason I brought up therapy is because currently I'm doing EMDR. Have you done that?
Every time. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. With the tappers? You have to use the
with-
tappers?
Oh no, my guy just he taps my legs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what the tappers are, though?
Is it like you hold it? What is it?
They're little paddles that you hold and they vibrate back and forth at different speeds. So, like, depending on what they want you to
Sounds like
feel.
he's going to a better one, Ryan. You should.
Well, I actually talked to my guy about it because first time I did EMDR, my girlfriend had done it and she recommended it, and I thought of it as just like, this is this super scientific, special, fancy magic thing. And then he does it and he's like tapping me, and it made me crack up
Yeah.
because I'm like, this seems so silly. And so I had to talk. We couldn't even finish my first session. We had to stop, and I had to talk about it and be like, okay,
Like,
I thought
why are you
this was
laughing at
this science thing,
Yeah.
but I'm feeling
Well,
really
I think it's
goofy
just like
about it.
like sensory. Like if you're just like having a sensory experience, then like it's easier for you to like clock out of the real world and like enter your brain more. I that's what I think it is.
Well, okay, so here's what he's told me, and I need to research this. But what I think I understand is that like it's trying to get the left and right hemispheres to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And the thing I was told is that like when you have trauma, your brain, when you have these traumatic memories that cause you pain still, it's like your brain never fully processed it and just put it away somewhere. And so you're going back to those things and they're trying
Reliving
to get
them.
Yeah, and you're trying to get your left and right hemisphere to talk to each other, and that's why the back and forth of those tapper things
Yeah.
is to try to get your brain to go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and go, hey, process this shit.
Yeah.
But I was doing that earlier today, and like it's crazy.
It's crazy. I've
Like-
been doing it for a while now, and like every time I do it, I feel like I get more into it, where like I'm like literally there, and like
Yeah.
it's like intense. I'm like, it's awesome though. I really like it because I have kind of a traumatic past. Like I just had like a weird childhood. Like my dad overdosed and like killed himself, and my mom was like really abusive. So like that's a lot of stuff that I like relive those memories because I like don't remember a lot of my dad. I was like 13 when he passed, but I like have probably like 3 or 4 memories with him total that I can like recall.
Wow.
So I like go back into those and like kind of relive them in therapy, which is cool.
That's crazy. You guys could totally relate on drug parents.
Yeah, both my parents were drug dealers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his mom passed.
Yeah.
Not from, I mean, I'm actually probably from drugs. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did your mom pass?
She had a stroke, but probably because of drugs.
Yeah.
Because she did drugs for, decades and decades
Yeah.
and decades.
That'll do it.
A lot of meth. I think it was mostly meth. I don't know.
It's surprising how many people I like talk to that are like, yeah, me too. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love drugs.
I mean,
Did she do the blue? What do they call it on Breaking Bad? Blue something?
crystal meth.
But like Walter White made the purest blue.
Yeah.
They didn't get that one for sure.
They did have a name. I forget. I don't remember. It's been a while
Yeah.
since I've Breaking Bad.
So, yeah. So anyway, I'm really liking. I'm only on my 3rd EMDR session.
Yeah.
And today, like, definitely, like, I didn't cry. Every time I'm like, I think I might cry. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would like I was definitely feeling like I could cry. You never know.
I want to cry
and
really
it's
bad.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So anyway, anyone out there, I did see Jason from AKA Michigander. He recently posted that he just started EMDR,
cool.
and so I was like,
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. And my therapist was just like, you want to try this? I'm like, yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
doing it for like probably 6 months now.
oh wow.
Like
Yeah.
every session, every 2 weeks I do it. So every
Yeah.
other week.
But you can find a new therapist in LA.
I guess, yeah. I'm like not even thinking about that yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. For the audio only listeners, foil just fell from the sky.
If you had to choose,
And you do.
and you
Oh,
do.
The reason I
I
related
swear
this
to God, Ryan, let me ask the question.
The reason
Even me at this point is like, Jesus Christ, this is the longest it's ever been.
I have no idea what it's going to be.
Even once he's like, let me go home, Brian, and shut the fuck up and ask the goddamn
the reason
question.
I related it back to EMDR is because, like, in EMDR, you're like trying, like, my guy's been like, don't try to figure it out. Don't try to like use your
Yeah, just
brain.
let it go.
You're just like, let it happen. And that's the most important thing about this question.
If you had to choose,
And,
I
you
do.
and you do, what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
Snapping. That was the sound. That was the moment. We have to call Eric Andre after this. Just let him know that clip exists and he should put it in the show. It's okay.
I just think the longer it can be drawn out.
Is it the same question or are you just like,
Oh, it's the same question
Yeah,
every
it's the
single
same
I
time.
question
should have
every
just
time.
made it to the end of the video. Like I didn't watch anything.
Yeah, that's why I ask every time. Have you seen some of the show? And people will be like, yeah, and I'll be like a whole episode? Because they're long.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, you liar!
Who would watch that? That's
It's
too long.
so long.
the best though? Do you know Dylan Grantham?
No.
He plays guitar with Michigander and Gabrielle and all them. Like, he's like a part of that crew.
Okay.
So we had him on back in January, And he had said he had listened to a whole episode, and we got to the question, and I stopped it for a second. I was like, hold on, have you heard this question? Because there's a part of me, if they've heard the question, where I'm like, do we come up with another question?
Yeah.
I always just say
'Cause
the
they
same
have the
question, even
answer.
if they know.
Like
And
they've
so-
thought about an answer.
And so in the middle of the whole thing, I stopped him, and I was like, hold on, have you heard this before? And he goes, I want it. Just please. I want it. I want it.
He's been preparing his whole life for this turtle moment.
Okay, so we got to follow that up with
Yeah, why?
Why? Yeah.
It's the only one I know of, like by name.
That's fair. That's fair. We've heard that before. Apparently, not a lot of people have a lot of turtle knowledge. And
Like
just
snapping specifically, or
we've heard a lot of snapping. That's
Yeah.
number one
Okay.
answer for
Yeah.
sure. Snapping, then box.
oh yeah, box turtles.
We've had a couple of ninja.
Oh, Teenage Mutant ones.
Exactly.
But what's a true gift is, I would say the majority of people, when asked their favorite turtle, follow it up with a story.
Like, it's
Like
crazy
a
how many people have a
weird,
turtle
vivid
story.
Memory
Because
of a
I expect
turtle.
0 people to have turtle stories.
I have a snapping turtle story.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's go.
It's not much of a story. I guess I've seen them.
Sure, yeah.
Like they were in Minnesota, and like I once upon a time was driving. Well, my mom was driving. I was really young, and we like got out to move this turtle because it was like close to a road, and it was a snapping turtle.
Oh, you don't want to fuck with that.
No, and they tried to bite me, and I was like, no.
I saw a video today
So that's the whole story, though.
of a guy who got bitten. He was like holding a snapping turtle.
Yeah.
And he was, being like a douchebag guy. Yeah. And he was like acting like he was going to give it a kiss. And it fucking bit him in the face.
Hell yeah, fuck
And
that
luckily
guy.
he still has a face. Because it could have.
Eaten
He
his
could have
whole face.
easily not had a face. Like
Yeah.
I've watched videos of things like biting through like pineapples. Like
Yeah, they're not
paper.
fucking around with
Yeah,
this.
they're serious.
My older sister is she runs like a nonprofit
Turtle rescue.
reptilian rescue. Honestly,
That's crazy.
that's what she does. So like she has like this house. She lives in Colorado now, but she has a house that's like 3 bedrooms of it are just like turtles and different reptiles that
That's crazy.
they rescue and try and rehabilitate into like either zoos or like whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
Wow. Then that's a legit turtle story.
that's the legit.
yeah,
turtle.
there it is. Yeah, you've got turtle.
She would
legs.
Your
pissed
sister's
with
listening
my
right now, and
knowledge
she's
of-
like, "Fucking painted."
Yeah, we also got soft shell once. That was cool.
Soft shell tacos.
Yeah, turtles.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
tacos.
You could probably make them into a taco.
Oh,
Turtle meat.
You're about to have some better tacos, my friend.
True. That is one benefit of moving back to California. Is the
Oh,
Mexican
yeah, the
food's
tr-
actually
yeah.
good.
Just food in general. We
there's-
can all agree that
okay.
food in general is better. And
Not Southern food. There's something
honestly,
special about fried chicken here that you cannot get in California.
I bet there's better hot chicken places in California than there are here. I'm just gonna say, just
I don't
because
know.
the amount of things.
There's a lot.
There's so much good food.
But I don't know. I thought, like, I always liked fried chicken because I'm a
Yeah.
human.
Sure.
But then when I moved out here and I went to Monell's for the first time,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is not the same thing that I've been eating my whole life. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I like Monell's a lot.
I think it's the best fried
It
chicken I've
seems
ever had
like
in my
the
entire
same
life.
thing to me.
Oh, that's just because you're dead inside and that's different.
No, I think it's just it tastes like if someone was cooking at home, which is comforting. But
Yeah.
the
Well, on that note-
the experience of Monell's is unbeatable. So cool.
Cool
Like
experience, yeah.
no, there's no other place like that.
Yeah. All right.
But
Weird
Now, you
LA.
guys-
You're a weird LA guy now. I don't know. I don't
guess
know.
I don't know. I grew up on that food in a sense, you know.
Yeah. The Mexican food is by far.
And like Vietnamese food. Like
yeah. Oh, there's not very few pho places here.
and they are just not the same.
And they're not good. I had pho once here.
And like
it was
ramen
mediocre.
and like
Yeah.
Korean barbecue. There's not one Korean barbecue place in Nashville. Not one.
That's wild.
It's insane.
Really?
I finally found a good sushi place.
There's some good sushi.
There's a
Which
few.
one?
What, Zushi Poke on 8th. It's like a
Oh.
tiny little. It's not tiny. I mean, it's a regular size
Yeah.
for a place on 8th, but
Yeah.
it's not like a big restaurant. But it's
Sure.
it's like kind of it's not expensive. It's like pretty cheap.
Yeah. Have you been to
And-
Oku? I mean, that's like super expensive.
No,
but it
I
is
haven't been to
really
the
good.
super expensive ones. I
That's
know
the
they're-
annoying thing. Like it is expensive.
This
but
place is cheap. I can get in like 3 rolls or something.
yeah, I found some good sushi and good Thai food here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
but
with that-
we do gotta get out of here. But before we do,
oh yeah.
let all the people know where they can find you. Home address, social security number, phone
Yeah.
number, all the normals.
They can find me on the internet, I'm sure. My Instagram is @TylerMeetsWorld.
That's phenomenal.
It's horrible.
I love it.
It used to be at Curse of Might when I was like a gamer, and my Twitter is still at Curse of Might, but I lost the access to my Instagram at some point, so it still exists. You can follow it, but my Instagram that I'm active on is Tyler Meets World.
That's phenomenal.
Which I love, because Boy Meets World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is that Boy Meets World or Jimmy? Oh, it's just Eat.
Oh,
Singular.
I didn't even think about that. Jimmy
That's
Eats.
just singular.
Jimmy Eats World,
Yeah,
not Meets
Tyler
World.
Eats World would be
Eats.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right. So, what we cover Instagram,
Tyler Meets World.
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook,
Whatever.
So
Snapchat,
we're gonna go out
Twitter,
on
Zynga, MySpace,
Zynga?
LiveJournal.
I don't even know what that is.
I just bring it up every time. I feel like it annoys Ryan, and that's why I do it.
So we're gonna.
Free MySpace social medias.
I bring up therapy because it annoys you.
I actually
So,
do know my MySpace though.
Oh,
MySpace.com/Gibson Guitar. Geetar.
All right.
Get on.
Everyone,
there.
make sure you follow him on MySpace.
Let's go.
what if your MySpace came back?
I don't know if I can log in still, but I can go view it and like see my stuff, which is sick. I love
yeah,
MySpace. I miss MySpace so much.
Yeah, it was a tragedy by the end.
That was like the era of internet for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was probably like 15,
Yeah.
just like vibing on there in bands, like having like a band MySpace.
Right. Like having your song play when they come to the
Yep.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the worst shit.
It was the
Like,
best.
where's the mute? Where's the mute?
Now, speaking of
HTML.
our times, we're gonna go out
What a
on
segue.
Mazda commercial song. This is Our Time by Wild by Tyler Thompson.
Yep.
Here's This Is Our Time.
But anyways, I didn't do my outro
Oh,
yet.
yeah, sorry.
What the fuck? Right?
You gotta push
Jesus
the button.
Christ. But anyways,
Go.
guys, as always, you guys are awesome, and we will see y'all next time.
The sun is climbing slowly. I hold these moments closely, closely now. These waves hit a little harder. I know they're gonna carry me somewhere. Step into the open wide. Watch the future come alive. This is our time. Yours and it's mine. This is our time. Yours and it's mine. This is our time. Hearts beat a little faster. Looking for a light.